Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Dungeon Master today, because today we are carrying on with our ongoing quarantine campaign playing Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition, backwards cover edition, playing through the 2013 adventure, Legacy of the Crystal Shard. Now, we are also making use of an extensive amount of material from Wizards of the Coast's recent Icewind Dale Rime of the Frostmaiden adventure. So if you are intending on playing Rime of the Frostmaiden at some point, this session may contain spoilers for some of the adventure material in there. So we have made substantial changes to it, but if you want to avoid seeing maps or things like that, you may want to come back to this at another time after you have had a chance to play. If you don't intend to play that, if you intend to run it, or if you don't give a shit about the Icewind Dale, well then welcome! Let me introduce you to the stars of our Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign, the Quarantine Crusaders themselves. Let me go in order. I've got you guys on the screen here. You guys can tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what level are you currently. First up, we've got Andrew.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Andrew, and I am playing Kola Hammerstone, a Dwarven Priest of Clangeddin. Oh my god, I forget my level. I think I'm 7. Pretty sure it's been a while.
It's been
also,
a while.
I am so super excited to actually be playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons again. It's been a very long time.
Yeah. Next up is Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm playing Grim Buckman. He's a 6th level human wizard. And yeah, I'm also looking forward to getting back in the swing of things.
Excellent. Next up is John.
Hey everyone, I'm John, and I'm playing Falcarel Hawkfriend. He's the half-Sylvan elf ranger cleric. He is a falconer and a specialty priest of Solinar, level 7 in both classes.
Nice. Next up is Mo.
Hi, I'm Morris. I'm playing Thomas Branner, who is an 8th level fighter.
Last, but certainly not least, is Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen, and I'm playing Gorwyn, who is a 6th level elven fighter.
Very nice. So, guys, I had to go back and rewatch last session to refresh my memory for what happened as well. Did anyone else... It's been 3 weeks since we've had a chance to play this game, so... did anyone else refresh their memory with what happened last time?
Not been watching it.
I think while you were gone, I kind of went over what I remember of it.
Oh, okay. So what happened last time?
Okay, so we met up. We were in the Dwarven Valley, and then we met up with the refugees, brought them some food, and then on the way back, we stopped at Caer Dineval, and we found out that there were some dwarves that were, or at least that the villagers thought they were dwarves coming and raiding them, and they might have stolen some black ice from them. We came to the conclusion that they were possibly Dwergar, so when we got back to the Dwarven Valley, we informed them of that, and it later turned out that the Dwergar had apparently drilled a hole through the vault where they had stored all the black ice, and that is where we were.
Yeah.
I think when we left that stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So, what we will see, guys, I think, is the scene opens with a what looks like an outpost covered in snow. Wind is blowing. The sky is once again, full of blowing snow and disappears into white, where it's difficult to see where the horizon transitions into the sky. This is an outpost that we recognize, and this is the outpost at the southern end of the Dwarven Valley. And what we see is the door to this thing opens up, and out walks first one tall, lean figure, then a second, third, fourth, and a fifth come out. And they make their way over to the stables that are nearby, and as the doors are thrown open, we can see that there are, in the stalls where you would see dwarven rams or other, riding mounts, horses, ponies, and such. Instead, we see 5 griffins. And the heroes each go in, they each collect the griffins, bring them out, and we then see a couple squatter figures come out from the watch post. And it is one of the ones we recognize from before. We've met this person. This is the same guy who has been watching there for several months. And what we can see in black lettering is 1 month later. So our session picks up a month after our last session. And what has happened? The dwarf says to the collected heroes who are now mounting up on their griffins, getting ready to ride back to the central community in the Dwarven Valley, is the one of the the leader says, "Well then, that's the last of them. Gone for now. We'll keep an eye out and let you know whether they return." Because what's happened in the interim, guys, is in an effort to, for one, make way for the refugees who are coming in and to secure kind of a front line, Dane Silverstream made the decision to escort every human from the 10 towns out of the Dwarven Valley. Yes. It's taken a month to sort of get all of this done, and it has been, fortunately, a bloodless affair. It seems that the figures who had set up those mining operations in there, or tried to, they did not have the might to back up their words, at least not initially. We can kind of see in, flashbacks that, fully plate mail adorned dwarven warriors riding up in unison as part of the Ram cavalry, with the griffins flying overhead, magical displays, aplenty thanks to Grim and Kola and Falcarel. They made the call to pick up and go. Now, of course, there have been threats, and that lean-looking figure that you guys had met so many months ago was also very generous with his threats, implied and explicit. But they're gone. So the Dwarven Valley, for now, there is no enemies and only friends. In that time as well, some of the those structures that were left behind, once you guys had looked through them and had determined there's no booby traps or anything left behind, the refugees from the Elk tribe, their escort from the Goliaths, they've all come to basically take up residence in the middle of the Dwarven Valley. Neither the humans nor the elk are particularly keen of going underground, though the dwarves have offered that. But it is, so we now have all of your allies have made their way in here. Let's talk a little bit about what you guys want to have pursued in that time. I can tell you, just to answer one potential question, there's been no sign of the Dvergar in the interim. In the past month, there's been no sign, no further attacks, no word that you've reached, although the Dwarven Valley is kind of isolated at this point. No word has come from anyone that there have been further incidents with dwarves elsewhere in the Icewind Dale. So, any of you guys can go. What do you guys think that, is there any specific project that you wanted to work on during that that month that you were down? You would have been busy with helping the Dwarf King get everything together and seeing these these people out. I think there was an expectation that there would be violence, so it was a bit of a surprise that this whole expulsion was able to be done without consequence. What do you guys think?
I think Thomas would have been working on his flying and effectively trying to translate his riding skill into aerial riding.
Okay.
Because presumably we've been doing a lot of scouting.
That's what I'm. If there's anything like that's great narrative flavor, but you've said that a bunch of times already, so we can assume that that's what he's doing. You're not going to get any mechanical benefit from it.
Okay.
Okay. So it's more if there are any role-playing things that your character wants to pursue in that month. If you want to write to anybody, if you want to, I don't know, there's any specific project that would take you away from the effort of escorting these, of seeing the Dwarven Valley emptied of the influence of the 10 towns? What do you guys think?
Well, I know we discussed scouting Bryn Shandar. So whether one or more of us might have done some surreptitious scouting.
Not an opportunity. Can't spare
okay.
the people.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we'll be busy.
Okay, yeah. No, I think Thomas would have been quite busy in the shepherding of people and other stuff. So,
Okay.
With everything, I mean, I'm assuming he would have been allowed to help with the refugees and such, but everything else that you said notwithstanding, Cola's still not exactly a fully welcome person here. So I imagine he, in fact, may have actually been spending all of his time among the refugees. In fact, like, he's not sleeping and living in the valley proper. Because where would he do that? He has very few allies inside. Personally,
Is Cola one of the characters that has learned Jotun at this point?
Let me see the character sheet. That rings a bell.
Yeah.
I only have common and dwarvish listed.
Okay, so you can put Jotun and then put in brackets pigeon. So I think what we see is as you land back in the camp with the refugees, there are still Goliaths among there, and they'll say some stuff to you. You'll maybe, say one or two things back, and the Goliaths kind of laugh, and then they correct your grammar on it, and you're like, okay. So you're slowly accumulating to that, to their tongue. What about Grim, Gorwin, and Falcarol? What are you guys thinking?
Well, with Falcarol, I think every maybe 10 day or so, he's going to disappear for a day or two as he flies supplies and things to his new altar at Winter's Watch to prep it for our eventual return.
All right.
Or
Are you familiar with how overland travel has been thus far?
I was thinking flying.
Right, but how dangerous has flying been in that time as well? Because I'm gonna make, there are peritons, there are white dragons, there are
there's a reason we're here.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that your character wants to kind of do that, but I mean, that's a month's worth of exposing yourself to that stuff, and it's not just a matter of ducking out for an afternoon. That's a full. In the same it's the same reason why you can't have gone to Bryn Shander during this time, is because you guys were needed here.
Oh, I thought I was just I'd fly over for a day or two, but yeah, that's
it's saying a day or two, but imagine in the middle of that, just saying guys, I just need to run out some supplies, and yeah, I'm taking supplies from you that may be needed in the valley. Or
otherwise. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we got to remember, it hasn't been that long since we all almost succumbed to the whale, the wailing winds and such, where that nearly the howl. Yeah, and Falcor in particular was really shaken by it. Not to tell you how to you do you but I just as I think back of the last few sessions, I recall that nearly did us in.
I can roll random encounters for those days, Falco, but it's just if you get knocked off of your griffin and you're on your own, say more. Who's your next character?
Maybe I need to take somebody with me, but yeah,
in fact,
he could be convinced not to go. So
I think that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Rather than Andrew the player tell John what to do, I think Cola would have, if he had heard that you were thinking about doing this, I think Cola would have tried to pull Falcarol aside and said, son, it's it hasn't been that long since you've been out. This was maybe care and caution is the better part of valor here, and these people need you, and you serve a purpose and a use here, and there's good purpose to that.
Why not take away
let's
from...
wait until we can all go and keep each other safe, eh?
Yeah, and not take away from the plan. I imagine that during this time, both Tom and Falcar have been talking about what they want to get done. It's just that you've had responsibilities that have kept you occupied for this entire time. right? Making sure they're coming in safe, the refugees are coming in safe, ferrying stuff back and forth to time their arrival. You guys, more than anyone else, are going to be able to get to and from those places safely. And for the reason I mentioned, like, because it's very fucking dangerous right now, you guys are going to want to fly in groups.
Gotcha.
You know?
Okay.
And in particular, getting close, like flying that close to the White Witch's domain, that's it's good that you want to do that. But I mean, you know, to think about, this is effectively like, you know, trying to put in extra plans for your retirement home when you haven't got your job yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because like you don't even know. That's great that you want to have that place to retire, but there are pressing problems that need to be dealt with before you can concern yourself with that shrine. What about Gorwin or Grim?
Just to specify, I think like what you're saying is like we've basically been preoccupied with affairs in the Dwarven Valley, so like we didn't have a chance to go to Bryn Shander or talk to our Harper contact or anything like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you did mention a letter. I think what Grim is spending a long time doing, and I'm not going to go like write it out for it, but like he wrote a letter to his old master at Candlekeep during all of this, and it was basically like,
dear motherfucker.
Yeah, basically, well, sort of, except for the tone initially is very like conciliatory, like, look, I know I was not as smart as I thought I was. You know, I took this and like I should have known that like you are always going to be 2 steps ahead of me, so and I realized the issue of the curse. But then by the end of it, it's basically like and you know, and I came here looking for stuff, so this is what I promise you: you're going to get nothing. I will give you nothing. You will find nothing, and fuck you. Like that's basically like what the letter is.
So not
mail.
far from
Who's
what
this
Kevin's
from?
said.
Hey, it's from my favorite student. I
From
wonder.
the guy-
Oh, this is so nice.
Yeah.
Seems like he's doing well. That guy, what?
Basically. Yeah. And you know, kind of like saying, like, we know you're up to shit up here, so yeah, you're gonna get shit.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how would you like to send this thing? By regular mail, by ground, or by spite mail? Oh, spite, please.
I mean, that's an option, yes. Delivered by fire imps or something like that. If we...
Exactly. Instead of licking the stamp, you spit on it furiously.
Exactly.
There we go. Okay. Then, what about Gorwin? Anything he would be looking to do during that time?
So I think working on his Jotun was a big thing because he didn't take the potion, right? That we had to learn Jotun because he had his ancient languages skill, and we thought that it did make sense. But Gorwin was really disappointed not to get more language, so I think he'd work on that.
Sure.
And then
so you can put Jotun Pidgin as one of your languages as well. Does anyone else not have Jotun right now? I think everyone else has actually consumed the potion, right? Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing I was thinking is that we haven't made super good friends with Adric, but he might be willing to let me, like, you know, have a desk in his setup and borrow a book every once in a while to read through, because it seems like he's got a lot of... I'm sure he's not just going to let me wander around and pick whatever I want off the shelf to read, but that he might be willing to share some of what he has that is kind of interesting things, that stuff that Gorwin would be interested in, right? The history of the area in particular.
Sure.
Learning more about kind of what the dwarves have written about the Dwarven Valley and all of that sort of stuff, I think would be a big thing that since we're spending so much time here and he's kind of a history nerd, basically.
Yeah. So what's... I mean, for one, Adric is because of how much you guys have helped the Dwarven Valley and continue to. He's more than happy to do that. Does Gorwin speak Dwarven?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so then you will reading the tomes will not be a problem.
Yeah.
What?
Probably not going to go super. Not going to be able to speed read it, but it's going to, you know.
Yeah. It's been a while. What specific topics is he looking into?
I don't know that there's a... I think really he's just sort of interested in whatever kind of seems interesting right? That if there's like a sort of narrative history of the area, that he would just sort of, in the evening sit down and read that for an hour every night or something.
So what
I don't think I'm not looking for anything kind of specific in history. I'm just sort of thinking this is what Gorwin would enjoy doing.
So here's what I think that he will do, or what we'll say is that your ancient history proficiency, you'll be able to use that for the dwarven history here or the dwarven history in general. So like the bare minimums of like the history of the dwarves having been driven from Mithril Hall, hundreds of years ago or thousands of years ago, coming here, settling here, building the community. The heroes 100 years ago going back and retaking Mithril Hall, and then the dwarves returning here afterwards to build the community back up again. You've got that the bare facts of that are now known to you, and you'll be able to roll for ancient history for the dwarves, particularly if there's like specific points of interest that you may want to pick up.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cola leans over and goes, half that stuff is lies anyway. You want to know the real story.
Gorwin will go into a long discussion of how it's just so terrible that the concept of a fictional history has sort of gone out of the cultures of the modern world, and it's so much more fun.
I think Adric also clears his throat at the returns desk and points at the sign that says "No Outcasts." So then, guys, with you guys mounting back up, they've got a detachment of... you can see there's a second stable that's been built here as well. So you guys were only one as you take to the air and make your way back towards the Central Valley. The dwarves have a detachment of troops at the center of the valley, and more importantly, have a runner that's going to be able to bring back word. They don't expect you guys to hang out here and bring back word for if or when the dwarves expect to be gone, or when the 10 towns may march on them. And one of the upsides to this terrible weather is that if the 10 towns decides to put together an army, it's going to be a fuck of a thing trying to get that army, provisioned and brought over land. And the Dwarven Valley is quite defensible when it wants to be, as long as you're not attacking from beneath. So you guys would be flying back. You guys would have had time to talk about plans too. What do you have in mind for your next endeavor here? Because you have satisfied the obligations to the dwarves and have helped them secure their homes, at least as much as can be expected for now. The refugees you've successfully seen to a new and safe port. So now some of those items on your checklist you guys can talk about addressing.
I think, we've been at this for a month. I think we need to head to Bryn Shander like we were originally planning and beat up our Harper's contact to see about help with our Netherese issue.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I seem to remember that there weren't a lot of demi-humans in Bryn Shander. From when we were there last. Although that maybe should have been Gorwin's impression, having not been used to a mostly human settlement.
In comparison,
I was just wondering, some of us are going to stick out like a sore thumb if there aren't very many elves and dwarves.
So one thing I will give, having used a lot of Pathfinder products lately too, one thing I will give Pathfinder over this is the information they give about settlements is a lot more comprehensive than 5e stuff, including breakdown by the ancestry for the different places. You're right that there's not a huge amount of there's not an elven district or anything like that, but there are. Bryn Shander, like most of the 10 towns, is also sort of a home for the lost. Not quite as much as what Lonelywood is, but it's still, there are a small community of dwarves, a small community of or small, like, by community I mean 4 families or something, of halflings and elves, half elves. So
okay. Well, that's better than I expected. I just remember being overwhelmed by the number of humans that were there and thinking there aren't any elves here. And
the population of Bryn Shander is in total 1,200 as well too. So it's and strangers tend to stand out.
Yeah, and we made a bit of an impression last time. I seem to remember.
A little bit. So Bryn Shander. Anything else you guys have on your list? Falcrel does want to make a trip back up to his shrine as well too.
Eventually to start prepping it for our eventual return.
So, Bryn Shander, Falcarel's Shrine. Bryn Shander is sort of related to the kind of investigation of Netherese stuff, right? That's what you were saying,
Yeah.
Brandon?
The Harbor Contact.
The harbor,
Contact.
because we were going to need to see if they could help identify us with like the try to get that circle and the tower. If they could help us out with that, because I have that sketch that might teleport us to the city. So I wanted to see if they might be able to help us, because nobody in the Dwarven Valley could. And I think we're going to need some allies if we know that the speaker is aligned with Luskins and the Arcane Brotherhood, and they're trying to look for it too.
Yeah.
So getting some more friends who might be interested.
Who
in help.
was it? Jeff's character's contact in Bryn Shander. Wasn't she someone we were planning on kind of trying to connect with to see if?
Yeah, her name was. I forget. Let me look that up. I don't remember names.
I think she's in the handouts.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
she's
just looking now.
Mithron.
Yeah.
Ron. Yep.
Yeah, she's the one who
That's
got
her.
us sort of a chance to get involved.
She's a
way back then.
cleric of some god or another, if I recall.
Yeah, introduce yourself to her like that, and I'm sure she'll be happy about it.
Is it Ormatter or something? Ormatter?
No, not Ilmatter. It's
Like
whatever Lathander's name is. A Monitor.
Yeah, that's one.
Monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never remember that one.
No, I remember it's Lathander because, I don't know. Well, I think it was the Sundering is when they changed names again back to the ancient name.
I can't keep track of Forgotten Realms gods.
No. Okay, so all right, so then
And then, well, before we were set on that, how concerned are we about potentially Dwergar with black ice, and do we need to work on that? I guess since that sounds like a recent development that we might want to work on too. But I don't really know how we deal with that.
Well, there's the hole in the vault. We know that eventually leads somewhere, but the dwarves didn't want to go in there. And Grim suggested it, and they're like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, well, and how did you guys feel about the time you spent under the valley? Because that's as nice as the Underdark is likely to get. Spiders, cloakers,
Leeches in the water.
ghouls. Yeah. Oh yeah, and giant slugs. Remember that? How much fun that was?
Spit face melting acid. Yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
well, and I guess more to the point, the lack of the ability to track was the real issue. Like if there was some way of following the Dvergar, their hatred of their their kin is such that they would have happily marched against them to take that stuff back.
Oh yeah.
The trouble is they have no earthly idea of how to track them.
Okay. Well, maybe that should go on the list as a,
Oh yeah.
we'll get to it eventually.
In the camp, there's a fucking corkboard.
Yeah.
Put it up there.
Or one of those like crime boards, like with little things and like
Yeah.
little bits of red ribbon and arrows pointing here.
Yeah.
We got
Just
Andrew's
a string.
printed out mini of Arl right in the center on a little stand. all the little threads lead back to.
All right. So,
Yeah.
with as you guys are arriving back at the, I think you're just checking in with the Thane or with his what was his name? Not Adric.
Vonbin?
Vonbin, yeah, Ruby Eye. Because
Yeah.
Vonbin sort of has become the seneschal of the Dwarven Valley now. When you check in with Vonbin again, so you guys arrive, and what you find is that you've been gone at this point for about a week. You've been maybe a little bit longer, and when you reach, get back in, and as is you've learned, Vonbin doesn't care about you traveling or arriving in your travel gear. Like, he doesn't want you to stand on ceremony. He wants just to get down to business. You guys make your way over to where Vonbin's work is. In the month, the one thing that has happened is they have finally finished clearing out the Royal Hall. So within the next week, they will be reconsecrating it to the gods, and then the Thane will be taking his place back in the actual throne room. First time that's happened since the insurrection by the Hammerstones. Present company excluded. Actually, you were on the side of the rebels for a little bit there, Cola. So what you guys and you can see, like, maybe there's a bit of like people. You can see people coming and going from Von Bin's office. He's still working out of that converted mansion that the Thane has been working out of. So you guys make your way in, and after a waiting about maybe 20 minutes, you guys are finally sent into him. And he's got, the stack that you saw of like to-do things that were on his desk has grown in the time. It seems to be making no progress towards a clear desk. So there's scrolls everywhere. There is seals in different places. And you go in to see him finishing up the most recent sort of pronouncement or whatnot. And he's like, bam, 1 stamp, bam, 2 stamps, bam, 3 stamps. And then he applies a seal, and then it goes off. And he looks up and he says, "So it's done then. The entrance is secured. And the weather?
Looks like you need a delegate.
So what I need is I need more hours in my day. Come, sit." And he gestures. They converted over to this part of the study. You can picture there's a big oaken desk that he's got built there. Wood drawn from the Lonely Wood. And then there is kind of like a counseling area too. And this was not there before. This place seems to be transitioning into some sort of royal apparatus or part of the royal government. So he sits you all down, has a nice stiff drink of dwarven whiskey poured for each of you guys. And he says, "So, I've heard that you have business outside of the valley. Is that true?"
Right, so.
"Well, the Thane appreciates all you've done for us. And he does not want you to think him ungrateful for the work that you've done. But we've heard that smoke has been seen a week ago to the north. It seems the north end of... Hold on. The northern end of Meirdwalden. The lake to the... right there. North of Meirdwalden, there's blackened smoke seen. Now, this is not... There's no settlements we are aware of up there. And if the forges of the Dvergar, of our dark kin, and he spits, if they are like our own, it would be a sign of that. Now, we have sent scouts riding, but they cannot reach there in time, and it has been lost. We have asked much of you, but would we would it be asking too much to check this? If this is indeed the cursed kin, and they have set their forges so close to the valley, and there is... It may explain why so much went missing so soon.
I suppose we could take a look.
So in terms of timing,
Yeah.
you guys can fly, I think it's 24 miles you can fly in a day. So it would take you a couple of hours to get to the region. You may need to reconnoiter it a bit. You know,
do some...
Yeah.
And if the smoke's not active,
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to find the spot. But so Gorwin will sort of sit up straighter and say, Von Bin, Mr. Ruby Eye, sir, I think it's fair to say that our causes, as aligned as they are, there's no imposition to ask us to deal with more of this sort of thing. Of course, we'll take a look.
What's one more day?
And it is still, like, there's still plenty of day left today, guys, if you choose. We don't have... Dave was not able to join us today, so we don't have him as our weather blame. Who wants to take the blame for weather today?
I can do it.
Okay. Would you kindly give us 4 percentile rolls, please? I gotta grab the book.
All right.
Boy, it's getting more complicated.
Nope, that's not how that works. I need to roll them individually, I guess.
Well, you can see what they are.
I will notice that John is usually the one eager to jump in to make rolls for us, but was not eager to jump in and take the blame for this.
I've never done the weather, so, you can blame the supply teacher.
Here we go.
Actually,
So is that okay,
decent
Kevin,
rolls,
the
yeah.
roll there, or should I roll them each individually?
Oh, no,
I'm
that
happy to
works
do
perfectly. Yep, that's right. I can read it perfectly. Thank you. What you've got...
I didn't know Canadians said supply teacher too.
Yeah.
It's Canadians and the British say supply, and we say substitute. I didn't realize that.
Oh, actually, I say substitute. Yeah, we say substitute.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Canada really differs by province, I find.
Yeah.
Like,
Or supply
for
teacher.
instance, we have a friend. So here, the May 24th is a national statutory holiday to honor a very long dead queen. In Ontario, we typically commemorate this with fireworks. That's a very customary thing that people do here. In BC, not so much. They don't do fireworks at Victoria Day, but they do fire fireworks apparently at Halloween, which I find
Weird.
Well, Vancouver does fireworks. They have a huge thing on Princess Island on Victoria Day. Yeah, huge.
It could be. It might be a interior thing.
Definitely. Yeah.
People we know in the interior, they don't do this, but they do fireworks at Halloween, and we're like, wait, what?
Yeah, weird.
Well, it's the Family Day is a holiday across country, and Manitoba's the only one that's renamed it to being Riel Day, because Louis Riel is the
Good for them.
father of Manitoba, of the province that I grew up in, and is the only province founded in revolution.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea that there's fireworks at Halloween though would be good for horror movies because like they can't hear that somebody getting stabbed because the fireworks are going off. I'm like,
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, isn't
Wow,
fireworks
wow.
like a Dia de los Muertos? Isn't that like fireworks and whatnot as part of that? The
I don't
Mexican
think
celebration of.
maybe?
I don't know.
I didn't think so, but maybe.
I think it may be the ones that just make a lot of noise, because I know that
Yeah.
the Sikhs do parade in my hometown, and there it's all like the very loud noises to drive off bad spirits.
Okay, so let's see here. We have there is precipitation, so it's been snowing today. It has been heavy snow today. The wind is up but not terrible, and there's been no change in the temperature. So it's a typical, very heavy snow-filled day today. Does anyone have weather sense as a proficiency?
I do.
Do you? Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
I don't remember when I took it, but apparently I've got it. So weather sense, hey,
Success. So Cola, would you mind repeating that? Let's see what's coming
Can
tomorrow.
do.
Maybe you can decide whether. There you go. So there will be precipitation tomorrow. It's going to be not quite as heavy, but the wind will pick up, and I don't think there's a change in the weather though. So the wind, it's going to be a little windier tomorrow, but it will be more clear, so you would have more visibility.
So do we want to prioritize visibility versus? Is it gonna? I guess I can't really. Is it gonna? Do I feel like it's gonna be windy enough to make it hard to shoot a bow and arrow? Obviously, I can't do it from Griffin back, but from
if you had a short bow or a composite short bow, you could do that.
Fun.
You can without riding for the.
I mean,
Griffin?
if you face an adversary, you may need to make a check, and you may fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got a long bow, and I don't have aerial riding, so I'm not going to worry about.
Yeah, -2 penalty to range attacks.
Okay. But that's not too bad.
Yeah. So what are you guys thinking?
So we're not. So visibility is not good today, and we're thinking about going tomorrow. May I suggest that because we could make it to Bryn Shander, and tomorrow go there and then head back and do this the next day.
But if we go on Griffin to Bryn Shander, people are going to see the Griffins.
But if the visibility's bad, we could come like. They may not see them, and we could land. We'd have to land still a little.
I mean, but when the weather gets when the weather clears and you can see better, though, like there's going to be a window where we'll be visible. Griffins are massive. They could even. I mean, it's not just the seeing them that'll be the issue. Like Griffins are also loud.
Well,
and
and
hungry.
I think more generally the thing is, I think if we go to Bryn Shander, we need to do our best to make ourselves look like refugees and not like heroes on Griffin back, right? That seems to me what we would do.
Especially those of us who are not human.
Especially those of us who are not human don't have a lot of cover.
So one of the things I think that you guys may have been doing in the interim is trying to keep an ear out for word from Bryn Shander, and there's been no word from Bryn Shander. Maybe that's just the nature of the weather and the conditions, but you've no idea how, since you guys have left, you haven't heard about the state of things, apart from... No, I think that's it, because you guys haven't met anybody who has come from Bryn Shander since you left it months ago. There's been the election of that new speaker as well, too, the new high speaker. So...
That's odd.
We were also, I think, all quite closely connected with the previous speaker.
Talked
we-
with her,
Quite,
certainly.
but we did help
Walking
her
around with
out.
our faces out. So, I mean, we do need to maybe see what happened to her, whether she's still alive even. I think she might have been disappeared,
Maybe.
but
Yeah.
I think maybe investigating the forges first. But if we're not going to go to Bryn Shander on Griffin back, we're going to have to either set up camp and go the last 10 miles on foot to make it less obvious. But
Well, I was thinking
I
about
think
this-
going for the forges first.
This
What
forest down
forest?
here is like 2. It's like 3 miles. Like what is it? 2.5 miles away from Bryn Shander.
Yep.
If we were to land there and walk to Bryn Shander, we could make that in a day. I think, right?
So overland, you have a dwarf with you, which means that your travel
That's true.
is going to be a little slower, and it's going to be slowed further
Snow.
by the snow, because of the conditions. But, I mean, it is only 3 miles. It might be the better part of a day to make that time.
Yeah.
Because you're not following a path, but let me just make sure there's nothing you need to know about that particular... It's not like the griffin eating forest.
Yeah.
Oh, that
would
place!
be-
Yeah, no, we lose griffins there all the time. Who told you to type your griffins there? That's weird.
Oh, that would be pretty wild if there was a Griffin eating
They'll
forest.
boot your griffin and leave you a ticket. It's oh, god damn it! Okay.
Yeah, I just imagine the average griffin versus the average traffic warden is not going to end well for the traffic warden.
Yeah, it's true.
Can you imagine we get there and there's like half a dozen of them lying dismembered with a D&D version of the Den of the Boots sort of lying there.
Yeah. Like a Knight Rider car with a self-defense mechanism.
All right. So Goodmead is on the other side of that. So I think there may be. Let's see here. Goodmead. Here we go. So the woods are definitely wild. What you've heard of in there. It said that there are giants that, or verbeeg, that lurk in there. So, I mean, again, Mo's not wrong about the ability of the griffins to take care of themselves. But that would be a place to safely secure, or to secure them at least from view, and then make your way overland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so that we're all clear, the not Jotun, the Goliaths, they don't really fly around this part of the Dale at all, right? They sort of stick to their area.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's not like we can sort of say, oh, it was just Goliaths passing by or something like that.
Yeah. Although with all those strange things that have been seen, I mean, it may not be... If you guys arrived in town with them and it was clearly connected with you, that might be an issue. Let me throw out one other potential problem here.
Mm-hmm.
You have a dwarf amongst your number.
Yeah. If we just kicked out a bunch of these people from the valley, I don't imagine they're too friendly to dwarves right now.
Well...
Does anyone have any way of disguising Cola? Or any magic that would conceal
Give me
him?
2 sticks.
Well, I've got my
and strap
shaving
them to my
kit, so we
feet
can disguise him by removing
You
Make
just
a
you
one
just
take
Scout halfling.
Get a trench coat, and then we'll put 2 dwarves on top of each other. And
well, or
Hello, sir. 2 tickets for the rated R movie, please. I mean, 1 ticket.
If we're
the
going
idea of a
refugees, you could wrap my feet in bandages and make it look like they're stumps and I was amputated. That's
yeah, I
the
mean,
or
maybe we could disguise him,
We'll do that.
and
think
having crutches or something, so all my feet were damaged by frostbite.
yeah, but I mean,
But it's not really-
I'm joking because like it's not dwarves aren't just
Dwarves
short
don't look like
humans.
dwarf.
No,
like
Yeah.
like they
Yeah.
have a completely different body type. So
Yeah.
like, that wouldn't. I'm joking. I think, yeah.
I mean,
I-
So
I
Gorman
don't know.
will...
Given that we were involved in evicting these humans anyway, I think there's a good chance that even we might be recognized for helping to do that. So I'm not exactly too concerned about disguising Cola because I think we all might be in trouble. Like we all might have to think about disguising ourselves and being stealthy about this.
So the other direction that we could go, Gorwin will suggest that we could fly to the forest, and he would be happy to stay, not to volunteer Cola for griffin watching duty, but he and Cola could stay behind, watch the griffins, and have Falcaril and Thomas and Grim march overland to get to Bryn Shander and do whatever they want, and then that would leave people with the griffins in case something happens to them, and they would be moving faster over land because there's no dwarf, and Gorwin and Cole are the ones who are going to stand out the most because they're the demi-humans, right? Falcaril, is Falcaril human, or is he half-elven, or what?
half-elven.
He's half Sylvan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but put a head wrap or something around your ears, and you could pass.
I wear a cloak most of the time, so
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I
it's
feel
because
like
of my.
this
It's
is-
the hawk. He goes after the eyeballs, so you gotta have something between it. So
I think this idea makes the most sense because I take Brandon the point that like all of us might be recognizable, but nonetheless, the three of you, Tom, Grim, and Falcarol, still stand the best chance of being able to blend into a crowd with like covering up your faces and such. Whereas Gorwin and Cola, you know, they are going to be the most problematic, and so you know if it's easier, I think that makes sense for us to kind of stay, and we can forage for supplies and
Get
and
ambushed
stuff.
for bolts.
yeah, I mean, if we've been planning for this for a month, Tom could sort of grow out a beard to disguise himself better.
Well, or I was going to suggest, I think most of our armor is dwarven make, right? So we might want to, you guys might want to wear some overcoats or put on your studded leather or something that makes you look less like adventurers wearing dwarven armor walking into town.
Yeah,
that's a
store the armor with Ruby Eye here, or Gorwin
Griffin.
and I can watch it.
I
Put
think
it on
keep it with the
Griffin.
Griffins.
I'm just thinking if
We don't want to
Gorwin
have
and
to fly
I
all the way
attack
back,
the woods,
my
better
God.
have a safety
Secret
deposit
armor.
box here in the valley.
So then, is this something you guys are planning on doing before you investigate the whatever that smoke was, or
Well,
are you planning on
I
doing
mean-
that first and then heading to Bryn Shander?
I
I
think
was
smoke
saying-
first is Tom's preference, but
Falcor
Well-
agrees.
but the thing about the smoke is that we were worried about visibility, and that's why I suggest Bryn Shander first, because we don't need visibility for Bryn Shander. We can
Well,
go
we
there.
don't have the full day for Bryn Shander, right? So we'd have to do it tomorrow, I think, for either of them, unless we want to go to the smoke right now.
And
Oh, is it snowing right now?
yeah, it's heavy
Yeah.
snow right now. That's the other thing to consider, is that even though it's a relatively short distance too, there is always a chance of getting lost.
Yep. And my direction sense, it helps, but it's not.
Also, you're staying back in the
intel.
woods.
Oh, you meant I meant for like flying the griffins to actually get there.
Oh, to actually get
That's-
there, you got a better advantage there because you can kind of you can situate from. Oh, yes, you wouldn't be able to see it because of the snow.
Yeah.
Now, Kelvin's Cairn would disappear. The thing would disappear, so that's a problem. But then also navigating on land from the
Yep.
woods to Bryn Shander in heavy snow, it's going to be almost no visibility. So you got no landmarks to navigate by. You got no one who's got. Falco, you said you got a spell that'll tell you north, right?
Yes, I have no direction.
Yep.
Okay.
But wait, you do have direction, or do you don't?
I have no direction, yes.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Do you have direction, or
K no. Yeah.
I know. It's
You
like,
dick.
yes? Like, how long can I
No,
make this go on for?
I didn't want to assume you were doing that.
Third
but you
base.
were.
All right.
We should have gotten our orienteering merit badges while we were hanging out.
So then, if you guys have nothing happening today, then that sounds like that's what's going on. But you got a good plan for how you're approaching Bryn Shander when weather is better. Then we can skip to tomorrow. And what's the plan for the next day? Are you planning on heading out early? Are you planning on waiting until afternoon?
I would put in a vote for early.
Yeah.
mhm, yep.
Okay.
I agree.
All right.
So, just so we're clear, Von Ben said they saw smoke.
There was an enormous black tendril of smoke that
Yeah,
would look very much like their forges, like what
Okay.
the dwarven forges.
but they saw it from people in or near the Dwarven Valley, basically. Like,
They were because they still range out. They send
yeah,
rangers to keep an eye out on what's happening. Even though the bear tribe seems to have been driven off, I mean, they were nearly invaded by them.
yeah.
So they are
they're-
being very mindful of what's happening to the to both sides of Kelvin's Cairn.
So what I was going to say is that because without the smoke, it seems like we don't have great odds of finding whatever this is. That might be a reason to ask Von Ben to have, a scout on Ramback kind of watching the area, and he can rush back if the smoke starts up again to get us. But we could go to Bryn Shander while we're essentially waiting for the smoke to start up again if it's not active.
Their expectation is that like the Dvergar are not stupid, and the fact that the smoke was shown, that may have been an error.
Okay.
Mistakes happen, right? Like
yeah.
they're underground. So what that could have been, or at least what their thought was like, they fucked up.
So
we
it's not
saw-
it's not like the vents have to open up if they're running the forges. It's
No.
we got a chance right now, and that's
Yeah.
it.
And
Okay.
the
Well,
only
that's
reason
good.
he thought that might be the case is because of if they can't conceive of how you would forge that much of that stuff that quickly and how you would transport it. One way of explaining is like if they've got a lookout or a hideout nearby, that may not have maybe they didn't have as much planning as they thought, and whatever process they've got in place to try and hide their forges is
All right.
Does that make
On the
sense?
same
Or
page
it's-
now.
Or it's
Yeah.
a trap. That's also the possibility.
Well, Thomas is going to point out that if there's a huge plume of stuff coming out, that's probably going to have left dust and stuff on the surface and obvious sort of contamination.
Yeah.
It's whether we can see that from above. Well, for 1,000 feet up, sometimes that thing's easier to see.
Well,
up there.
you guys aren't going to be 1,000 feet up.
Well, yeah. But,
Because you're not, like, okay, you die because you can't breathe.
Well, and it's been snowing, so
yeah.
I guess it depends on how much snow is accumulated on top of whatever particulates are accumulating, right?
Yeah.
So, okay. Gorwin's vote is to do potential Dwergar Forge today.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then, we will cut to you guys. What supplies and such do you want to bring with you, if any? I think you have a bag of holding now, don't you?
My waterskin bag, yeah.
Yeah, we do. You're here.
That's great.
Well, we need to take enough for at least several days in case we get trapped by bad weather.
Well,
So I'd say like
we
at
do have
least a
two.
week's supply rations
We do have two
and
clerics that
maybe
can make
firewood for a
food.
couple of nights.
Oh, sorry, John, go ahead.
We do have two clerics that can make food and water.
Yeah.
No, true.
Food and water and travel spells seem like that would be useful.
So
But if we have any other like heavy stuff, it seems like it'd be a good point
Wood.
that we could put it in my waterskin bag.
Yeah.
I don't know what we might need that would be heavy,
Firewood.
but
Firewood.
firewood. That's a good point.
Okay, they can supply you with
This
that.
isn't- This isn't that far out. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
We're only gonna be
the
gone
weather-
for a day.
Well, but if the weather turns, we could be stuck for a while if the Griffins
Yeah,
aren't
it
gonna
doesn't
be
doesn't
flying
need to be
well.
that far out.
Yeah, and we know what Arl's weather control is like, so
Yeah.
I mean, the smoke was coming from an area like it was around here, right? So then, like, there is wooded areas that when we get to the destination, we may be able to have a better chance of finding
Yeah.
firewood in the woods.
yeah.
But of course, then it's also like wet and stuff too. So it's not gonna be perfect. We'd have to dry it out.
Yeah.
Well, I
What
mean,
about-
we have someone who can cast fire magic, so drying out the wood may not necessarily be a problem. But anyway, point is, we should bring some firewood at the very least.
Okay, I'm gonna put 3. Can I do 3 days worth of firewood
Mhm.
in the waterskin bag?
Yep.
And that'll be
The waterskin bag's got what? Like, it's got a substantial amount of capacity, doesn't it?
I haven't tested it out at all. So I've got 3 waterskins and a silk rope in it right now.
Okay.
And I don't know what its capacity is.
Okay.
Because I don't even know that we've identified it. I think I just found out that if you turn it upside down, everything falls out of it.
Guys, I figured it out. I guess during that time, Grim, you have Identify now, right?
Yeah, I do. I could have done identify.
Yeah.
Grim and Cola, I believe, because I believe
Oh, yes,
you gave access to priests
Yeah.
just because of the nature of this campaign.
Yep, that's right. Okay, so then what you will know now is that this is a handy haversack. Magical backpack of this sort appears ordinary, well made and well used. It's similar to his 2 side pouches, which appear large enough to hold about a quart of material, but each is actually similar to a bag of holding and will contain enough material to cover 20 pounds in weight. And the central portion of the pack can contain up to 8 cubic feet or 80 pounds of material.
20 pounds per side pouch and 80 pounds in the center.
Yep. And then I think it never weighs more than... Where's my... I think it's in here. They give you more detail about it. Let's see here. Haversack. Of course, it's going to be under something. It'll be under like bag. God dang it. So there's also a thing that it doesn't weigh more than a certain amount.
Okay, that would be useful.
Yeah. There you go. Pouches. Here we go. Here we go. Haversack. No, there's no extra information about it. But it says it's like a bag of holding. I think a bag of holding is limited. It hits a certain point and doesn't weigh anymore. Here we go. So because of its weight limit, it's never going to weigh more than 10 pounds.
Cool.
It'll always weigh 10 pounds, but you can carry up to combined 120.
Cool.
Yep. So I'm gonna put. Alright. Full weight, I think.
Okay.
And how much did we decide that firewood weighs per day? I can't remember.
Did we say 10 pounds per day, or... Yeah. Oh, John's muted now. Everyone drink.
Yeah, 10 pounds per day. I have it in my party rations.
Okay. So I'm going to take 4 days worth of firewood, and I've got a couple of water skins and the tent for me, my own personal tent in the bag.
You motherfuckers can't come in here. There's a sign.
Yep. I need my privacy.
You must be
And
this
my
elvish
beauty
to
rest.
enter.
Stupid elves in their weird trances.
Okay.
Okay.
He only needs the tent for like 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
No
He's not even
shares.
sleeping in there.
Can have this on a timeshare.
Yeah, we're not taking our big tent with us in broken down between the griffins.
I don't even take up that much room.
We can take the big tent. I can always cast light and load on it, and it'll weigh half as much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I assume we'd split it up into like 4 or 5 sort of packages, so
What does the big
the
tent weigh?
griffins can carry quite a lot.
What does the big tent weigh?
I don't have it, so I'm
We
not
never
sure.
worked out, did we? Yeah, maybe not. We'll just.
Well, we need tents.
I have a small tent of my own, so
Yeah.
What does that weigh?
where did I put it? I usually very meticulous about it. I think 15 pounds.
So small tents are 10.
10.
Okay.
And then big tents, I'll look it up.
So you could fit a couple of them, I mean, in the haversack then, quite easily. And not have it count towards everyone's encumbrance.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah, I've got a tent, small 10 is what we've got here.
I'm just gonna volunteer Gorwin to be a pack animal like that.
I'm keeping my tent on me.
I've got
But,
three flasks of oil. Do you mind if I put them in there so they don't explode on me if I get hit with fire?
What?
Don't you have the flask that like keeps the oils separate? We have something.
Yeah,
on our
we
party.
have something like that, but I don't. Yeah, it's true. Who has that? Not me.
After one time of self-immolating yourself, you don't
I
want that to happen again?
No, not.
I thought we did give it to you specifically because you carry oils.
No,
and it
no.
would keep-
Dave has it, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
That's that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, that checks.
All right. Well, never mind then. So, do you mind if I just drop these in here? Is everybody shoving tents in there? I have 4.
Well, so the thing is, I don't really want to stick my hand into it because that goes into a weird realm. So I just get the stuff out by turning it upside down and dumping everything. So I don't know if the flask of oil will survive that.
Well, we know that you don't have to dump it out, right? We know that we
but-
cast identify.
Do you want to stick your hand into the weird bag?
Yeah, we've identified it. It's okay.
And one of the things that it does, you don't have to root around. The haversack is a little better than a bag of holding where you put it in, you think of what you want, and it's there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. Okay, Grim, I will carry your oil flasks, but you have to be the one to reach in to grab them.
All right.
Okay.
Deal.
So then, guys, what you... with all of your things secured, you guys are ready to set out on your voyage. Nope. You okay there, Andrew?
Sorry, I have a bee in my basement.
Oh,
Oh no!
I think that's a bee. Could be a fly, but he won't stay still long enough to see if there's any yellow. This could be a problem.
Are you allergic?
Well, no, but I don't want a bee in my basement, and I don't want to be stung. Oh, it's fine. He'll float around, and if I don't bother him, he won't bother me.
Exactly.
As long as it's not a queen, I don't
You've
have a
reached an
problem.
accord with the bees.
Well, I mean, you know, if I turn
Detente.
around and there's a whole honeycomb behind me, I might have a problem, but...
Yeah.
I'm that way with spiders. As long as they don't see you for more than 5 seconds, you're fine.
As long as the spider doesn't see you for more than 5 seconds.
As long as I don't see it. If it goes away, then I don't worry about it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most house spiders are generally...
Yeah.
I mean, they get rid of pests too, right? So,
Mhm.
all right. Then you guys set out on your flight. So you do have, because you have the advantage of Kelvin's Cairn, I'm not going to roll for you guys getting lost here today. So it'll be about midday. No, it won't be midday. It'll be mid-morning. So you can travel 24 miles you guys can travel on Griffin back, right?
Sounds right.
Say that
think so.
sounds
So it's
familiar.
2 hours. 2 hours of flight, and you will reach around that region, and you'll
Let's
begin
see.
your search.
We flew over to here, and we stopped about here in a day, so 26 or so with our last trip.
I think 24 is
24
close
is
enough.
reasonable.
I think 20, yeah, because it's dictated by the speed thing. Let me take
Yeah, the Griffins. I wrote down the speed, so I can, if we want to look it up. The Griffins
30.
are.
Griffins are 30.
Oh,
30 miles. So.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because we did stop on this hill over here, and then
Yeah.
walk to the Olmut.
Yeah, they're huge. So then that is about a fifth of it. So that means it's like an hour and a half, I think. An hour and a half, a little bit more, is how long it takes you to get there. So it's really a quick trip. And you're able to start affecting your search. Tell me a little bit what your strategy is here. We don't have to go into great depth about this, but like, what's your strategy for how to try and spot this stuff?
Well, for Falcarel, he knows it recently snowed, so finding particulates on the ground might be hard. But he's just going to try and look for any kind of discoloration, because dirt beneath fresh snow, there might be a little bit darker or discolored snow. So he's going to try and keep his eye out for that.
Okay.
hmm I think that's a good idea. Look for discolored snow. We probably want to set up like a search pattern.
Yeah.
I guess since we moved so quickly, we could probably set up like essentially 5 of us each a little ways apart, and then reconnoiter a section each of us, and then come back together after we've all to cover more ground since we moved pretty quickly.
I'd suggest at
Fly-
least
Fly
one of
in a wing
us.
formation.
I'd suggest at least one of us be on watch for enemies at all times.
Yeah, we got to roll
just-
for
just
random
in case.
encounters, guys.
Yeah, maybe if 4 of us are looking down, one of us is always on like slightly above and keeping an eye out for peritons and other stuff.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So four searchers, one on watch.
You know, safety as
And-
it were.
Just kind of try to look for any type of weird discolorations or stuff like that in the snow. When we
Cool.
get close to something, we'll land, and otherwise we'll
Yeah.
just kind of fly low enough to see the ground pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, Thomas is also going to say, obviously, if they've been burning and heat, there may be less snow cover in certain areas.
Oh, that's true too.
If you see what I
true,
mean.
too.
So there might be, you can see changes from the air. You can see that discoloration and changes in elevation a lot easier than on the ground.
Mm. Well, so I did not grow up in a place with snow, so I don't know how evenly snow normally falls.
It's
But
generally pretty even.
But the snow is where it causes it to pool.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I
Where
don't
the
know.
wind-
Well,
wind is.
do we have any? I'm just wondering because any type of like detection spells or something that might help us is one idea that I had, but I don't know if we have anything like that. That because most of them are pretty short range, right? So you'd have to be
Let me.
like walking.
We haven't got anyone that can do scrying in a mirror or a ball or anything.
No.
We don't have that
No.
sort of.
Not
That's,
yet.
I think that's like a 4th level spell.
Yeah.
And I don't have access to it yet, or I don't have it.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
don't know what circle, like, is that a priest? I don't even know if priests have access to something
Divination,
like
I think.
that. Oh well, then we should, yeah. But I don't have it prepared.
You make us like a divining rod so that we can, Like finding water in the desert?
Yeah.
I mean, if I had stayed in the Dwarven Valley for like a week, maybe.
Okay.
Okay. So here's what you guys find. So it sounds like this will be enough. So in the immediate vicinity of the forest, you can see there it's wild territory that you're in. You are completely away from any sign or any obvious sign of civilization. Let me move your tokens over a bit. And would you give us a 2d4 roll, please? Okay. So after about 3 hours of searching around, you guys are about here. And at this point, the river has actually cut a bit of a gorge in the side. So it is about 100, and the now dry riverbed is about 120 feet below. And what you see, who's got the highest wisdom here?
Probably a good
Either
contender for
Falcaril
that.
or Cola.
I think Tom had a pretty good one too.
Oh yeah, Tom.
16.
Same
I
as
don't know
mine,
if any
yeah.
of the clerics might have better wisdom.
I've got 18.
So Cola, you're the one. Maybe, and there's also like a personal investment here too. If less than 10 miles away is where the Dwergar are setting up their invasion force. What you see, perched on the side of the gorge and partially collapsed down into it, is the first sign of civilization you have seen. There is a relatively small, about maybe 50 foot by 50 foot cabin, blackened and charred on the roof. And it seems to be recent. Human built, you would guess. From the size and whatnot, it's set up on stilts. But there is a clear scorch mark on the top that looks fresh enough, like it may have been the source of the smoke. The entire structure is not built, or is not charred, which is unusual. But that's what you can see below you.
I'll signal to the others and then start making my way down to the ground.
Okay. So as you guys are circling your way down and getting ready to land, why don't we take our mid-session break now, refresh our beverages, and then we will come back.
Wasps.
Sorry? Oh, deal with your
Take our
bee. Cola's
deal with invading
bee
horns.
infestation. So for those listening at home, we'll be back momentarily.
Well, the good news is that I have confirmed it is just a really big horsefly.
Mm.
Is that the noise I'm hearing? There's a buzzing I'm hearing in the background.
I only just unmuted. Like I muted my mic when we went to break, and I only just.
Oh, okay. No, that.
If you were hearing it, it's not. Plus,
no.
I mean, it's a big fly, but it's not that big.
Well, unless it's flying around by your microphone, but if it's.
I have heard a buzzing.
Yeah.
I noticed it earlier before we went on the stream when Kevin was talking, though. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe his mic's picking something up, or.
Yeah, it's kind of regular. It seems to be happening at like every few seconds.
I imagine someone's mic isn't quite connected fully, like the cord is in fully or something.
That could be.
Let me double check mine.
Yeah, so Arlen, those minis are really cool.
Yeah. They're great looking dudes.
The problem is, like Andrew, I've gotten into 3D printing, but I've also still maintained a bad Kickstarter board game mini heavy habit on top of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
don't we all have bad habits
God.
buying too much stuff that we don't
I
need?
know.
for
I'm not
the
going to use all
hobby.
these minis. Oh God, I'm
No,
such an idiot. And then
it's
I'm going to get them
ridiculous.
all at once because it's Kickstarter, and they're all like are going to arrive like a year from now. And then,
Yeah.
Well, I told Arlen that I started getting into Warhammer in '97,
Oh wow.
and I haven't really gotten rid of a whole lot of the stuff I've collected. So I still have a lot of miniatures that are not painted from the backlog of it. Plus, like when I was in grad school, I had a smaller apartment and I didn't have the space for the hobby, so I just didn't really touch it. But that didn't.
Yeah.
And in the last few years, my partner and I have been living in an even smaller apartment. And it, like, so now that we've got the house, I've got the space for some of this stuff. But like, I'm realizing, oh God, like I didn't slow down the acquisition of miniatures, so they were just all at my parents' place. And now that I'm looking at it all, it's like, oh no, this is a lot.
That's like what happened to me
Yeah,
with books.
I've got some up there that are still in their boxes from when I was going to do a Black Templar army.
Nice.
But if you want to look at great miniatures, I've been to like the Mothership at Nottingham for Games Workshop,
Oh
and
yes.
some of the where you get all the Forge World,
Oh yeah.
and some of
day.
those minis. It's
Yeah.
interesting, and it's a really nice place to have games. It's huge, and they've got a great bar. But it's interesting. Nottingham has there is like a whole subsection of smaller industries that grew up of people who used to work at Games Workshop,
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
and then they
Whoa.
the Lead Miniatures Company, so they all split off and do niche things. So it's actually a bit of a small industrial cluster now, not just.
Yeah, I bought into some rules from Warlord Games because that's where Rick Priestley went after leaving Games Workshop, and so because I played Warhammer Historical in high school with paper minis that were terrible, and it was a ton of fun, but the paper minis, they didn't stand up, and they people would breathe too heavily and they'd blow them off the table, and it was ridiculous. But we didn't have any money, so what were you gonna do?
yeah.
But anyway, that was a suggestion that I read online that Warlord Games' various systems all have that sort of same old hammer feel.
There's also
sometimes you even see flats at some shows, like the 1950s stuff, which is quite interesting. But that's really going back. And in fact, somewhere I've got a copy of Donald Featherstone's at first book. And I think one of the other guys at the club's got a first edition signed by him.
Nice.
But that's where I started. Anyway, I think we're digressing.
Well, I think Kevin's setting up a map for us.
Yeah, I'm just getting something ready here anyway, so you guys please feel free. Carry
Okay.
on, carry on.
Yeah, I think I've actually shown that before, which is
say no
the
to
English
minis,
Civil
kids.
War rules.
Say no to
you're-
minis, kids. Yeah.
Mo, your camera didn't adjust quick enough. You'll have to hold it
yeah.
up for a little longer because it was
Yeah,
washed
so
out.
that- English Civil War, TSR,
Nice.
which is super ancient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow.
Cavaliers and Roundheads.
Oh,
Nice.
that's the game that they published to finance the original D&D. He published. They thought
Yeah, I
that
think
was
so,
gonna give
so-
enough money to I remember reading about that, which is kind of funny to
Nice.
think about. But we don't have enough money to publish D&D, so let's publish.
Well, I mean, even
War.
today, right? Like, if I think it's Doug Cole from Gaming Ballistic who said if a meteor falls on Wizards of the Coast. I hope they hit the D&D section and not the Magic section, because otherwise the whole hobby is going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Because Magic is what funds D&D, right?
I think, yeah, except for as I understand, like for the last year, I think Magic has been kind of suffering, and D&D has been doing a lot better.
Oh,
because of the pandemic.
Yeah,
the pandemic has made people aren't. Yeah.
The last like 3 years in a row. You're right, because of the D&D was the thing that was the biggest financial contributor to Hasbro's income the last year. But the last like 3 years since 2018, it's been like huge, higher sales than it's had since the 1980s.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great, you know. And I mean, for whatever people's feelings are towards 5th edition, it's an all boats rise kind of situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think there's no question that more people getting into the hobby gets more people into everything, not just D&D.
Oh yeah,
which is great.
I mean, it's exciting to me when I talk to people who came into it with 5th edition, because I'm like, you know, I hear them talk about some things that they like, and I'm like, oh, you should try this game. Like, I immediately start. I'm like a drug pusher trying to push them.
When with my overview of 2nd edition has about 22,000 views now, and it's we regularly get people commenting who are 5th edition people who are looking to find something different to try. You know, so. The carryover is not quite as much as, it's not like an equal split between all the things, but there's definitely people going into it, and with Matt Colville running 4th edition on his channel now, there's gonna be people checking that old stuff out too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, in some ways, I was like that, right? Because Ash was one of the first things that I got into after trying 5th edition and deciding that it was too close. Brought up back all those horrible memories from that one 3rd edition game, and but then that Ash campaign that is still going. Alternate Sundays on Dungeon Musings channel. On Saturdays, not Sundays. Yeah. Sundays have been anyway. But that was a similar thing for me, that I wanted to try out something other than 5th edition.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, like, because for me, I only started playing D&D with 5th around mid 2016. And I'm in a weird place, because on the one hand, my actual, like, the pulling of the trigger that got me into the hobby finally was watching stuff like Will Wheaton's Ashes or Titan's Grave, Ashes of Volcanus short series that he ran on Geek and Sundry.
Yep.
And then, of course, Critical Role. But those I were using more as I was already interested in the hobby. It was more of a, show me what this feels like to play, and then that gives me a better sense of whether or not it's something I want to do, or more importantly, whether or not it's something I can get my friends to do with me. But, I mean, I had always kind of been interested in it, and I think, because given the fact that I've played Warhammer since, like, 97 for so long, like, I'm in a weird spot of, like, yeah, my entry to the game was 5th edition, so I'm part of that cohort. I'm not really part of the old school grognard kind of world of D&D, even though I've kind of found my way to the older games as well. But yet I've still been in the broader hobby of related kind of hobbies. Yeah. Especially if you consider D&D and Warhammer, like Games Workshop was TSR and Games Workshop. That's where the hobby came from for quite a while. So it's, I'm in a very weird cultural spot in that regard. I feel like I'm connected to both of these worlds, even though objectively speaking, I've never really been in the D&D world.
One just for the channel in general too. Like, we're not partisan in it, right? Like, fuck joining. The idea that like you only do one thing or another thing is just, especially with the additions, like everyone has their own taste and their own things. But I mean, we play everything on the channel. We run 4. I think the only AD&D first. I've not run that. I've not run BX on the channel. I've not run Basic. I've not run BECME. But I'm not interested in just checking those boxes. All the versions that I
you've run other OSR games based on, I guess maybe not. Well, because Ash is more AD&D 1 than AD&D 2 in some ways. And
Barbarian, what is it? Adventure Conqueror King is BECME. Is a BECME clone. So we've kind of played that. Okay, let me bring you guys over to where you are landing. So here we are. You guys are down over here. Now let me just move a couple of signs here so you can see where things are. So that's a 220-foot drop off the side there.
220?
Where it says 120 feet. And go. Put a couple other things down on the token layer here. Actually, I guess I could move those to the map layer and not have them get lost. Hold up here. Oh, shit, fuck. Hold on. Nope. So let me do this. I'll put all this crap on the map layer, and then I'll go to the map layer and move that to the back. Alright. Map layer. Boom. There we go. Alright, so guys. You land, and this old creaking cabin is perched on the side of this 120-foot crevasse down, and there is a mostly dry creek bed or river bed, and then there's the frozen river in the center. It's seen better days, definitely. The size of the doors, the style of the building and whatnot. You can see through the open windows, I think, for each of you guys. And it is set 20 feet up on stilts.
Okay.
So what would you guys like to do?
On stilts, it seems so risky in this kind of climate.
Is it flush down to like stilts, but there's structured all the way down to the ground, or is it like all the way up on top of stilts and there's
big open... And by stilts I mean like there's big thick beams that are holding it up. Like it's not like, you know, it's not like a wacky shacky that you're gonna step on, it's gonna fall into the thing.
This thing, not chicken legs like Baba Yaga's hut or something like that.
Exactly.
It's a trap. It's a trap, I say.
What
Too clever.
What is obvious is that this is definitely not something built by Tverkar.
Okay.
They still trapped it.
could
Are
I
there sort of ladders to get to the sort of habitation layer? Or is it like some of it's flat and then there are stilts sticking down like that?
Yeah, it's up on stilts.
Okay.
So is there a way of getting up there? Or do we just
let's go walk over and see.
drop off?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna. But before go up, I want to go over here, and I want to take a look. Can I take a closer look at the stilts? Given the fact that this thing has been raised recently.
Yep.
And the fact that we're right beside a 120-foot drop, could I take a few moments and just kind of look for its structural and get a sense of its structural integrity? Like, is it safe to go up inside of it right now?
You don't have any
on, like,
carpentry skills, do you? In your
I do.
proficiencies?
I know.
Oh, Grim does. Okay, yeah, Grim, give us a
yeah,
carpentry check.
that's good.
Yep, I'm a builder.
Look out. My time to shine.
Yeah, exactly. Hold on, let me get my character sheet disappeared. All right, here we go. Carpentry.
That one. Pretty good.
All
right, so...
Oh, right. Reverse.
The area immediately underneath what looks to be like the spot closest to you and nearest to the gorge, you're going to want to be careful of. That all of that area along there, that looks like it's pretty weakened, so you're going to want to walk gingerly in the part of the cabin, like the half of the cabin that is closest to you and closest to the edge. So if the north is if north is straight up, then it would be the southeastern part of the structure, right along like here. The floor that's in there, you're going to want to be careful along because it may not support a lot of weight.
If you clicked on anything, Kevin, I didn't see it.
You might be on the other layer.
No, I'm on objects and tokens layer.
Oh, there we go.
Did you ping?
No,
there you go.
Oh,
arrow.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that part
so-
of it is
Okay.
Yeah. Just you
And it
want to be
looks like-
careful.
To answer your
So
question, Tom.
it might be worth, guys, if we want to explore like this area here. Like if we can go up here, just fine. That's fine. But if we want to go over here, there are a bunch of trees and stuff. We may want to like tie ourselves off, just so we've got some, just in case something happens, we're still secured to something up here. And I'd recommend not tying ourselves off to other places of the house, because if half the house starts going over the cliff,
Its chicken legs pick up. Oh God, Jesus!
I didn't see any chicken legs, did I?
No.
Michael.
Gorwin's particularly looked for them too.
Yep. So it looks like this section is stairs leading up.
Correct.
And then what's right here? Because it's blocking line of sight, but
It's
what can I see from?
half buried in the snow, but anyone, Falcor can tell you, it's an outhouse.
Okay.
Falcor, this looks like a hunting lodge. And you can see there is.
we can
cola.
stock up.
Yep, there's some. It's solidly frozen at this point. But there's still was old firewood left in there. If you thawed it out, you could probably use it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look to see if there's any recent signs of usage here. Like,
Sure. Give us a. You have tracking as a skill, don't you?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
So you guys have 5 points of astonishing fortune right now.
That's right.
Spend a point of astonishing fortune to reroll.
Yeah, I think that'll be good.
I mean, so used to playing with bennies that.
Try that again.
Yeah, but
There
unlike
you go.
bennies, these don't come as quite as often.
No, these are much more precious. So yeah, what you can find, you see Kola making his way over there. So there is some big dwarven boot prints over there. But Falcor, what you can see is that there is the sign of someone. It's a little obscure because of the heavy snow that's come in, but there's enough of a track that's been made here. It's got to be at least, with the amount of snow that's piled up here, it's got to be at least more than a week old. But it looks like there was a path of someone coming to and from that fire station there, or the place where they got the firewood stored, and heading up the steps.
I'll tell everyone that somebody was here within the week, but concerns me that there's no other signs of activity yet.
So more than a week ago, not within the week. So like
More than a week, okay.
it would have been like less than a month, because otherwise they would have been probably completely obscured. But certainly more than a week, just with how much it's covered. You're like, it's careful imperfections in the way the snow lies. That's what you're picking up with that
Gotcha.
bit of a roll.
Yeah, I've seen kind of tracks like that over snow when it gets deep.
Yeah.
The this debris that's scattered on around, is that physically there?
It is there. This place has not been maintained well.
Is any of the wood charred? Like, did any elements of the roof fall down here?
No.
Okay. So the only way to tell like how recently the fire was would be to go inside and actually.
So curious thing is that, I mean, like, you know, even just as a layperson's understanding of how fire works, you know, the rest of this place seems to be remarkably intact. It is black. Like, the exterior of this whole place is black. But it seems to be a color of either the wood or a feature of the aging of this place. It's not charred or burned down the way that you would expect. The state of disrepair that you can see here, that seems to be from neglect as opposed to damage from the fire.
Grim.
Yeah. You need something?
Well, this is just me thinking aloud here, but when you use your magic to put stuff on fire, it's generally a very quick kind of blast. I've noticed that the fire doesn't necessarily linger once it's hit its target. Do you know, with something like, do you think maybe this could have been a magical fire? Just a quick blast rather than a, misuse or an accidental. Like, whoever attacked here didn't necessarily intend to burn it down, is my point. Maybe just to.
What you could tell, Grib, is that, I mean, the way that they described it was a steady tendril of black smoke.
Yeah.
That they saw as if a forge was going. That it was going for long enough. They would think that there may be spells that could do that kind of stuff, but like, fireball, flaming sphere, stuff like that, that wouldn't in and of itself cause that kind of manifestation.
Yep.
That's what Grim would know.
Yeah, I explained this
Fair
with a little
enough.
more detail than probably necessary.
Starts talking about the magical.
I'm going to maybe
To the
soon.
point where Cola's like, all right, and I'm just walking away.
He's pulling his books out. Look,
Well,
this is
yeah,
the formula.
Tom's going to suggest we go up that ramp and have a look round.
I'll take a peek around the corner.
Well, okay, I'll back you up. I've got my short bow out at this point by as well.
I'll take out my axe.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to be quiet.
As they're doing that, I'm going to try the door to the outhouse just to peek in.
It is quite buried in snow, so you're going to have to, to sort of like dig it out if you like.
Will it take longer than 6 seconds to clear enough just to peek in?
Oh, yeah.
Then I won't bother.
Okay.
You really gotta go, Falcon, right? You could just go in the woods.
I'm just checking to see if somebody was trapped in there.
Okay.
Well, that's okay.
Oh. What a fate!
If they are, then yeah, they would have been in there for quite a while. There's no like, there's no little bit of clearing. There's no give to it. The snow that's drifted up on here is flush with the door.
So is this a door here?
That is a window that is broken.
Or was there? No, I can't. Okay, so I'm just up here. So I'll have to look in the window, I guess.
Okay. Oh
There we
God, you looked in the window. Okay.
All right.
Bold choice. What?
Hey
you...
guys!
Yeah. He freezes in place. Oh no. We recently discovered in Night Below just how fucking deadly basilisks are. So what you can see is that this appears to actually be a workshop. It looks like there is a set of smith's tools in there, as well as tinker's tools spread across a wooden table, along with bits of twisted metal. There is, on the north side, a bookcase that you can see has a harmless family of squirrels living in it. The entire surface in here, all the tools, the table, the floor, is covered by a rime of frost. So Cole, you can see that in every step that you take up here as well, the wood creaks underneath the weight of you and your armor. And you can see a 20-foot drop down.
Right.
There is a door there
This
as
side
well.
is still like I still feel this was based on
From what Grim told you it's there, like inside the cabin on that other part.
right is the risky part.
Yes, yeah. You didn't see, more to the point, like you didn't see any other part of the bottom of it that looked unstable. Just you got to be careful where you're walking on that the left side there.
All
Not
right.
So
not
there's
letting Cole get too far ahead. He's going up too.
okay. Again, each step creaks underneath your weight.
Gorwin is gonna walk up this direction and try to see kind of if there's anything around on this side, basically.
You've got a pretty clear vantage from underneath as well too, because of the stilts, right?
Yeah.
So
Nothing around there, and then I'm just gonna walk over and look at sort of the side of the wall of the structure from over there.
Yeah.
Since I don't have carpentry, I assume I can't tell if there's anything special about it. Beyond
No, like
anything
everything seems
obvious.
sound to you. And it may be something that, like a discoloration. I think your character is both smart enough and has keen enough vision because of your elven sight. You can't see what the imperfections are that Grim was able to identify as an experienced carpenter, but you understand that that's probably what he saw. Maybe it's just you're not able to appreciate the same information that he's taking in.
And then the gorge comes around. This is still that drop off.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, then I'll come back to the party.
Okay. So, and the wind is swirling around below you too with the light bit of snow. So, Cola, there is that door that leads into this workshop if you want to try it.
This is the door?
Yep.
I could try it. I don't think Cola's gonna kind of wave to Falcorel to like, I'm gonna go in here, but you go on ahead. I don't really want to push my luck too much further on the.
Okay.
'Cause I'm pretty heavy.
And then I'll get here so I can peek in through this window.
Okay. So you throw the door open, Cola, and that is what you see inside. The family of squirrels turn towards you and kind of chitter a bit and kind of scamper up like to a second shelf and are chittering at you from the top of it. Falcorel, looking in through the broken window, there's a scent that reaches your nostrils of burned wood and burned meat. You also catch the faint odor of wine. Snow has fallen through the holes in the roof and then been pushed in the corners by stiff winds blowing through these broken windows. The walls and the furniture are scorched black, including a table with the charred remains of a book on it. Next to the table, on the floor, amid several broken wine bottles, is a mostly incinerated skeleton. And a round, frost-covered object about 6 inches in diameter.
That's interesting. How big's the window?
It is window-sized. What are you... Big enough for you to get...
Are you wondering if you
If
Yeah,
If
obviously,
you want
I
to
don't
try
wanna-
and crawl through, it's not like a prison slot.
Yeah, obviously I don't want to go over here and try the door. I want to see if I can break some of the glass and pop myself in.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Stow my bow real quick.
No snapping.
Okay. So you... sorry, you said you're storing your bow?
Yeah, stowing my bow, using, edge of my gauntlet just to clear off the glass and then squeezing in.
Okay, so you step through, and you're able to make your way inside. As you do, you think you can hear the sound of doof, 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 of thumping from over here. It looks like there may be a corridor. So what else you can see in here? Let me get... this right here is a fireplace. Doors are there, and there's the one leading in. And then around the corner here, there appears to be a hallway. There is light in here as well, coming through from the open windows and from the open burned scorch mark above where this table is.
Okay. And you said there was a round spherical object, or object that was covered in frost?
There is an object that is covered in frost, about 6 inches across.
Where at?
Right near where the body is.
I don't see
So
a body.
right around here.
Ah, okay. I'll peek out the window and make sure everybody else is coming before I move in. So,
So-
These missing spots, it looks like everybody else has been able to traverse. I'm assuming this, because it's further, you might have to hop across, and I don't really want to go that way.
Okay.
But I'm just going to walk
With that
over
great
here.
roll, Grim can tell you it's broken off, but these do look sturdy enough
Okay.
to support weight still.
Okay, I'm trying to decide if I want to clamber through. Also, there's something... Oh, there's a window there. Never mind. It's not something broken with the dynamic lighting.
Okay.
So I'll sort of look in and whisper, Colo, what's in here?
So, Cola, it's as you saw through the window. There's
Yeah.
some tools in here and whatnot, and there are... it looks like this place has been exposed to the elements for quite some time.
So I'll tell Arlen. It's basically just a little workshop. I am interested, even with that, I am interested in kind of just doing a quick kind of look at the tools, because depending on how badly the weather affected them, if they were good quality tools to start with. There might be some saving them. I'd be interested in like the tinkering tinkering tools to help me with my leatherworking and such.
They are both them and the smith's tools. They are all like they're covered in frost right now, but they're new or relatively new. So,
Relatively new.
Yeah, these are all. This
Relatively
is not stuff that's been sitting abandoned for a long time. This stuff is all relatively recent.
So also contributing to our assumption that this place has been recently used and then abandoned again. If I can, I'd like to take some of these like tools,
you can
both
collect
sets, and then
One thing you can tell: the smith's tools and the tinker's tools were made by human hands, not by dwarves.
And we haven't seen any evidence of like a forge or something, right, for the smith's tools?
No.
Although you could still work, something soft like gold or silver. You just couldn't work like steel.
Yep.
Without a forge. Okay. And you said there's a bookcase with some squirrels in it.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're
Are there
angrily
any books in
chittering. There are only scraps of paper and other detritus that the squirrels have collected.
Okay, but no books.
No.
Hi, Falcoro, can you cast a spell to talk with them? You like all your animals?
Let's see. Did I prepare speak with animals? I don't believe I did.
Oh, damn it.
Is there writing on any of the paper, or anything that I could I'll pull out a page and see if I can read anything on it.
So if you get close, the squirrels are very angry with you. Then they transform into a fang dragon. And
okay, I'm gonna risk it. I think my gauntlets are gonna protect me from squirrel bites well enough.
So you're able to grab one or two pieces of scrap paper. They have notes on them.
Okay.
But they seem like they're in a shorthand or they don't seem to make much sense. There's like calculations on them. There's the odd word that without context doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Cast off notes is what you. I mean, as an a academic, you recognize like workbook type writing as opposed to something that you're intending for people to read.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll share that with Kola at least since he's right here. I'm not sure what this is for, but I can tell that it was some sort of workbook or calculations or something. Seems likely that that's related to the tools.
Quite possibly. Might be worth hanging on to. We might
get
some other things that we can compare these notes to and help us make sense of other things later.
So Gorwin will also ask, I can't remember if in AD&D 2e clerics can do detect magic or not, or is it just wizards?
I think as a cantrip they can sense magic.
Okay.
But they can.
Well then, Gorwin will suggest you want to take a look at these things with, see if there might be anything special about them beyond just being tools that we found.
Eventually, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay.
Kind of do it now.
Well, you don't have to do it now, but
I can do it.
okay. Grim,
Run
you want
forward.
to?
Grim's happy to be useful.
Okay.
I'm gonna run in here.
Okay.
Well, maybe not run, but
Not well. I'm useful. I can be useful. Okay. So let's see. God dang it! Keep closing my window. All right, so I'm going to use that sense. I guess it's basically a sense magic cantrip.
Okay.
Where is it? Did I succeed? Yes, I succeeded.
Okay. There is no magical aura anywhere in here.
okay.
Apart from whatever you guys
you
may
should
be
keep
carrying.
Yeah.
You should keep a hold on these. Big heavy metal objects.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, was worth a shot, I guess. So we might, I guess, Gorwin will go walk out and go up to the window behind Falcaril and sort of lean in and, take a look around.
So you see what Falcaril saw then too. There is that table with the charred corpse, a charred book, and then something that a bunch of broken wine bottles, and then what appears to be a spherical thing frozen or covered in ice.
Yeah. Doc will get out his quarterstaff and go investigate that noise once Goran makes an appearance.
Okay.
Do you want me to come with you, bud?
I'd prefer somebody to be in the room, yes.
Okay. I will do my best to climb through the window.
Okay. You're
like
able
Falkirl
to
did.
get through as well.
And then I'm going to follow Falkirl.
Okay.
Say, keep an eye on that corpse over there. That weirds me out.
Okay.
I don't know what would have learned you to, or taught you to be cautious of Walking Dead in the past 70 sessions.
Where's the corpse? Which side of the table is it on?
Corpse
Is
is
right over here.
yeah, right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, then I will. And there's a wall right here.
Mhm.
Yep. So
I'm going
right
to
there.
put my back.
Fireplace here. Okay.
I'll put my back to this wall and look that
Come
way.
through the window as well. So what you can see, there's a door there and a door there.
Must be a deck back there.
A little patio, watching the sun go up in the night. Yeah, great retirement home, retirement cabin. Okay,
Start going into the hallway.
so you're making your way along, and the floorboards creak underneath you as you go, Falcarol. You hear the wind howling outside. You don't know where that thump came from, though. And looking down, there's no tracks on the ground.
I'm gonna just get over to this door and look back at the hallway, and then rap a little bit on the door with my quarterstaff.
Okay.
Anybody
Whack, whack,
home?
whack, whack. You can hear a creak from, I think, inside the room to the north.
I'm gonna walk back out and so pretty sure something's in the other room. Don't know what it is. Who wants to back me up?
I'm heavy. I'm staying where I am. I don't want to risk.
Come crawl through the window.
For Cola, there doesn't appear to be any exit from this room either. Or at least not to deeper
From the
into
room that
cabin.
they're in.
From the room that you're in.
Like
So-
no alternative exit other than the one I used to get in here.
Yeah, there's no other. This does not connect up with the rest of the cabin.
Right. I mean, give me 5 minutes and my axe can make another door. I don't know if I want to be hacking at this thing though. So
Well, I mean, it's fairly sturdy wood based on it surviving a fire of some sort. So
I don't know. I think Grim's itching to make an entrance with a fireball.
That's
We'll
not
do
what
that.
I'm on it. Not what I'm on it.
and
I'm not suicide.
yeah, cool. I wasn't kidding earlier about the tying ourselves off to a tree or something if we're going to be exploring too much in this area. So I think
I think
that's why
wise.
that's why I'm avoiding that area.
Yeah, this side is where it's creaky, worse according to Grim, more likely to collapse. So, Tom, do you want to support Valkyrie and I'll go look at the body, or do you want to trade off and I'll support Valkyrie and you can look at the body?
No.
No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm acting as guard at the moment, so
Yeah. So
do you
Well,
want me to...
Falco's going and investigating something. Do you want to investigate with him?
Okay, yeah, I'll come in with you. I'll put the bow away then.
cool.
Okay.
So, I'm gonna come up to this door to the north and try it to see if it's locked.
The door is
Yeah, I'm trying to keep-
unlocked. You trying to keep Mo? Go ahead.
I was going to say, because it's quite rickety, I'm going to make sure I stay back so that we're not all on the same sort of area. So I'm trying to keep 5 foot back.
The rickety part's really over there, so
Yeah.
Well, I think it's all not great. The really rickety part versus the less rickety part is sort of a...
Well, don't forget, I'm in quite heavy armor at this point, so
Yeah.
okay.
compared to yourselves.
How much do you know how much you actually weigh? Character weight plus
Character weight plus
your carried weight,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be like 250, 260 pounds.
Okay.
Falcor was about 210 based on what he's carrying in his weight. So
Okay.
Yeah. So
So Falcor's, he's just gonna reach over and try the door, open a little bit and look in.
Okay.
He's like expecting to be attacked by something, but he's got to do something.
Okay.
You don't get to 7th level and not be paranoid about everything.
You cast the door open, and what you see inside is this is an abandoned bedroom. A stiff wind blows through the broken window in the east wall, causing the tattered gray curtains to billow and flap like angry ghosts. Snow covers a bed and much of the surrounding floor. There is a cold and empty hearth in the western side of the room.
Anything disturb the snow in here?
Not that you can see.
Then I'm gonna step into the room and
It creaks beneath your weight. You hear the crunch of your boot on the snow. Tom cannot resist the siren song of an unseen room and moves up to be adjacent to Falcor. That's a total weight of about 200 pounds, isn't it, guys? Or 400 pounds now.
Uh-oh.
yeah, it is.
The reason I wasn't moving further. In fact,
if I hear it start to
Cole's moving
creak, I'll
further.
jump back or step back.
Okay. Does not seem to give way. Yet.
He's gonna stay fairly close to the wall as he moves around the room.
Okay.
Because he thinks maybe it'll be stronger around there. And
So it's a bit. I mean, with your dexterity score, like it's not a problem, but it's a little bit awkward to do because remember, like it'll be heavy packed snow that would be right up against the side, so it would just be, yeah. But you can't see anything. There's no obvious source of what that creaking would have been that you would have heard from in here. But you're absolutely certain you heard something in here.
he's wondering if it wasn't under the floor.
we didn't see anything
No.
like that, but
Gorwin, what are you doing?
so I am keeping watch on the corpse and sort of standing there and also, looking out, keeping watch on these doors. I guess if Falcoril, depending on how long it takes, Gorwin is a little curious about the corpse, so he might walk over and investigate.
So if you walk over, here's what you can tell. It is almost completely charred. But there's enough of the charred skeleton remaining to suggest that it belonged to a human or an elf male.
Okay.
There's very little of the clothing that remains. Do you have faith religion as a proficiency?
I do not.
Okay. There's colors left, like the tiny little bit of the clothing that is left. But you can see that there is an amulet, a golden amulet on a chain that hangs around this charred skeleton's neck that remains in pristine condition. And the reason I ask is because there is some kind of symbol that is on
Some kind of
the
symbol on.
yeah.
Okay. So I'll pull out, I think I have a dagger. Let me double check. Yes. So I've got a dagger. So I'm going to pull out a dagger and I'm going to test the bone to see how kind of brittle it is from the charring.
It's
What I'm wondering is
quite-
if I can just sort of, if I have to pull the amulet over the skull or if I can just sort of pull it through the neck vertebrae.
you can't just pull it through. It won't give way.
Okay.
It's charred like an old piece of meat.
Yeah.
And it's not old either. Like it does seem like this
yeah.
is relatively. And in fact, like when you move it, there still is, like I described for Falcor, there's still an aroma of burned and charred meat in here. So you could get it
pretty
away.
weird.
What you could do with your dagger, though, is quite handily cut through. What you want to do is like decapitate this thing, cut through the vertebrae, and then just pull it off directly.
I don't really want to desecrate the corpse.
I didn't want to tell you your business, but
Can I like get the dagger blade under it to sort of lift up the symbol over the head. I'm wondering if I can get if I can't get the amulet off without. If I can get it off without touching it, I think that would be preferable.
Sure.
But otherwise, I'll...
Yep, just give us a dexterity check, please.
All right. We'll do.
If you want to roll your dexterity or less on a d20 roll.
Yeah.
Easy, and that's a high roll, too. So, yeah, you easily are able to do it with minimum amount of disturbance. You actually loop into one of the links, just the tip of your dagger, and you're able to navigate the weight of the amulet quite well, so that it's really just a matter of scooching the chain underneath the charred skeleton, and there's barely a disturbance of the body as you pull it up and leave it hanging. What there is in front of it, there is the amulet has got a circle to it, almost a perfect disc, and there are markings, almost like waves, or maybe clouds going across the front of the amulet.
Anything on the backside?
There is nothing on the backside.
Nothing on the backside. Okay. And the corpse didn't react to that?
Corpse didn't react to that, no.
Okay. Cool.
It twirled its mustache.
Yeah. I think that was the DM who did that, but you know. Okay, that's probably it for me for a little while.
So there is also two, right next to there too, there is that 6-inch sphere that I mentioned as well too, covered in snow. So bring that back. Grim, you seem to be lurking on the outside there, and Cola as well. What are you guys doing?
Sorry, I'm just keeping a lookout to see if anything's going to be coming this direction, and Grim is still kind of convinced this place is trapped.
You are getting a pretty imposing stink eye from those squirrels.
He'll take it for now.
Okay. Looks at the squirrels.
Yeah. Got some magic missiles for you.
Yeah, there's a fireball with your name on it there. Ratatosk. All right. Yeah. So, cutting back to Falcarel. So it looks like it's been maybe even decades since this thing has been occupied. The robes curtains, those filthy gray curtains, continue kind of blowing. And then very briefly, you see a flash of a face, as if gauzily concealed behind the curtains. Would you kindly give us a save versus paralysis?
Well, that's fun.
That's a success. Okay.
That's actually my best save.
It's there for a second. You sort of step back in shock, and it's gone. And you did not see. It was just the curtains don't go to the full length of the wall. They only go down to about maybe 2 feet off of where the baseboards would be. So it's just a face, no body, no nothing else, and it's gone as quickly as it appeared.
Well, that weirds me out.
Truly, what I live for.
Could I tell if it was a magical effect or something, based on that?
How on earth would you do that?
I don't know. Maybe something imposed on my mind, or I don't know. Did I fight an influence off, or was it just?
Does this sound like you're trying to metagame it? No.
No.
Fucking nothing. You learn.
Okay.
Do you have an ability you wish to use, or?
Was it like a ghost? Would religion help or something? Okay, so his only reflex would be like to lash out at the curtains with his quarterstaff and like knock them off the wall.
Okay, so yeah, you're able to reach the curtains a shred. They are barely held on from there.
And like, Tom, did you see that?
And you think you can hear coming from the chimney up the hearth?
Oh.
Falcarel and Tom, you both hear that.
Oh, nope.
No one else hears that.
Well,
We
didn't hear anything
where it came from?
the chimney.
Chimney.
In the bedroom. Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to get too close to Falcaril to put too much stress on the bed, on the floor.
On the bed. Hey, what were you thinking?
I'm like, I think we should get out of this room.
Okay. Do we want to have a look at the one? Well, when he hears that, I'm going to step back into here then.
Okay.
Yeah, Falco's just gonna.
So Gorwin,
back out.
you hear, both Tom and Falco come back, and you can tell from the, the white, the color having drained from their face that something's up.
Great.
Great.
You guys all right?
I'm getting ready to pull the mask down.
Well, Falco says, "Well, I saw something in the curtains that shouldn't have been there, but it wasn't there when I struck at them, and then something laughed in the chimney. So,
Wait, what? You're not
Well, we
making
can
any
always-
sense.
it doesn't
we can
make any
always,
sense."
make a fire in the chimney and see if that would get it out.
All right.
Falco looks around
How
the
about before
blackened
that?
area. Like,
Falcaril, you know anything about this symbol? And I'm holding up the dagger so that he can see the amulet
Falco,
symbol.
give us a religion check, please.
sure. I'm also using this as an excuse to get the way away from that door.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go right up to him.
Yeah, as you push past Tom, the creaks heavily under you guys.
Like, I do know something about this.
Yeah, so it's different than is normally. Normally, it's like a rose-colored piece of stone. It's the markings of Lathander or
Morning glory.
Monitar. And if you look down, now that you're close enough too, you can see that there is yellow, the little bit of fabric that is left that was not completely consumed, has yellow, red, and pink in the colors, and that's the colors of the robes that the priests of a Monitar would wear.
That's
Wonder-
odd.
Do I know how common it is for a priest of a Monitar to be out here in the Icewind Dale?
Not unusual. The fact that it's very much like in in our world, it's close to the North Pole, so the days are shorter out here, but that might mean that there's less time for the Morning Lord to be there, but it also may make those times much more precious, and when there is light that finally comes after the kind of weeks of midnight sun, that may be more valued than just any given morning to the south.
The reason I ask is Falco remembers the only priest of a Monitar he's ever met, priestess to be exact, and his eyes flick to the corpse and hopes that he can't make out if it's male or female.
You can't
It's-
tell it's male.
Okay.
It's male,
He
yeah.
he exhales in relief.
You
And
also
like-
don't recall Mithron having a holy symbol as ornate as this. Again, like normally what it is a piece of like rose-colored stone that is sort of worked into the symbol to sort of capture that morning sunrise kind of quality. This seems something different. It's also, as I said to Gorman, in perfect condition. It was not damaged at all by the flames that consumed this priest's robes, if he is a priest's robes and body.
So Falco will hand the holy symbol back to Gorman and says, "Keep this safe. We ought to return it to the one priestess we know that serves the same lord."
Okay. So Gorwin is now prepared to touch the amulet, now that we know that it's a Monitar's. So Gorwin will, take the amulet and move from the dagger and put it in a belt pouch or something.
Okay.
Assuming that nothing terrible happens when he reaches out and touches the amulet.
Nothing untoward happens.
Okay. Cool.
Even after getting confirmation, it's a holy symbol of a good god.
Well,
This is what
Yeah.
you've trained us to be like, Madison.
Yeah.
So,
Falco didn't
when
even
you-
hesitate when he knew what it was. He just picked it up. So
Yeah. Well, so as soon as you hand it back, you do hear thump from behind this door.
Mm.
It sounds like something falling. Something heavy.
Okay. Falcro, you want to back me up and I'll go walk over there?
I'll keep an eye on this.
Because I think I'm
corridor
lighter
with
than you are.
yeah, Falco will pull out his bow and stow his quarterstaff and stand about 10, 15 feet back from Gorwin.
Okay.
So, like where you are now, and I'll walk over.
Yes.
So the door
Okay.
will open towards you guys.
All right. I will walk over there, very gingerly.
The floor seems to be creaking quite heavily.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna do my best to do Legolas standing on top of the snow instead of in it, as I open up the door.
Okay. So let me show you what's in there.
Okay.
So you throw the door open. Now something happens as you do this. You throw the door open and you hear and you can see there's those barrels in there. One of them is rolling directly towards you. Would you give us a save versus breath weapon, please?
Will do. No bonus. Ooh, that's terrible.
You want to spend a Benny? Benny, I just want to spend astonishing fortune. Spend a month of this. You have
Yes,
4.
I will spend one of our astonishing fortune to reroll.
Okay, here we
Might
go.
as well. No.
So what happens is as soon as that rolls open, this rolls back towards you. It's about probably about 2 feet wide. So it just kind of knocks you, and you stumble back. Let me reveal 2 other tidbits to you. For one, see that region that's there?
Uh-oh.
Let me show you one more bit of information that's only on the DM's layer.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
So that floor completely gives way, and it is open to the chasm below. Gorwin, give us one more save versus breath weapon, please. You are pushed back.
Right.
See if you can grab the
I
side.
remember when I said
Yes.
So you whoop, and you grab a little bit of the remaining floor that has not broken. So you're sort of like collapsed down. You can picture you're like lying on part of the broken thing. It's not like the whole thing just gave way like it was a trap.
Yeah.
So you guys can see this. Gorwin is barely holding on, and Tom, you can hear from behind you back in that room. The barrel is still falling at this point. All the way down to that dry riverbed 120 feet below. What are you guys doing?
Well, Falgrel immediately drops his bow and tries to, flatten himself on the floor to reach for Gorwin. He's just like,
Yep, give us a dex check.
he doesn't even hesitate. He's like, you could be making it worse, but
Okay, don't roll a 20.
don't say that.
yeah.
You slide straight down and off.
Wow! Easy. So you slide over, you grab Gorwin's hand. You guys can, I think, Cola, you hear the sound of breaking wood. Same thing with Grim. Grim, you'd be able to see what's happening in the room. Cola's the only one who couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. So you actually...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was trying to decide if you could see. I don't think, as you're going up the stairs, whether you could see through the stairs of what's going on. Like, because you were back over here, weren't you?
I had moved back here because I was getting a little nervous. But
Yeah, so you're
I'm
still on the
wondering
stairs. So when you hear that, you actually might be able to see, like, it might be faster for you to see what's going on if you move back the stairs a little bit, and you can see
I'll move
through.
down.
Yeah, so you can see that the floor has fallen where Grim has said it's unstable, and you can see Gorwin's, like, the lower half of his body scrambling, trying to get up this side.
I will start making my way over to underneath
Sure.
to see if, as a backup in case he falls.
Absolutely.
As I'm walking, can I take out my hempen rope?
So yeah, so you're making your way along. Falcarol, you slide up there, grab his hand, and pull him back up. You guys don't need to make any other rolls. You are pulled out of that hole, but that is now open to the region below.
So my field of vision didn't have I couldn't see the whole barrel coming through or anything. So
Yeah.
Grim thinks they just weren't idiots and didn't listen to him and walked them.
Okay.
Don't tell anybody anything.
So what you can also, when you get back up there and look in, this room has the smell of wine.
Hmm.
And there are several frost-covered barrels of wine in here. And you can
Okay.
What
tell...
I'm thinking?
What was that, Falcro?
Think what I'm thinking? When we kill whatever this thing is, let's take its wine.
Or maybe we just invite out and have a party.
Good to have priorities.
Yeah.
We just have a party. With
Well,
it.
we can use it for when we go to Bryn Shander. We'll just say we're wine merchants.
This, the wine, the markings on it, I don't think... Let's see here. Gorwin, you could probably see this. The markings are from the Dessarin Valley, so far to the south. So this is imported wine. And there's a lot of it in here.
That's kind of odd. Way out in the middle of nowhere, and there's no like road leading to here, and that's weird.
Huh.
Very.
Okay, so I'm gonna, I guess to tell that it's wine, I'd have to move in and open some of the barrels. So I was gonna do that anyway.
You can tell from the markings on it. Like they're...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move in and open some of the barrels and make sure that it's wine.
It is definitely wine, and it's sweet smelling.
Yummy.
Okay, I'm gonna replace the lids on the barrels that I checked, and nothing else in this room. I see there's a window, but nothing else in this room aside from some barrels. And
So when you open the wine barrel, you could swear you hear in your ear someone whisper something. Thief.
Sorry.
You seal it. You're the only one who heard that.
Okay. So Gorwin's sort of looking around, trying to see, and he'll sort of poke his head out the doorway, see if Valkyrie reacted like he heard anything, and then he's gone from sort of normal speaking voice down to whisper that carries, and he'll say, "Valkyrie, did you hear that?"
No, the only thing I hear right now is my heart beating.
Do you have high blood pressure?
Well, from you falling through the floor, maybe.
Okay. There's wine in here. In barrels.
Well,
and it's imported.
There's something up this end as well.
Yeah.
Try that door. But I'm keeping most of my vision this way up, so we don't get jumped.
You up for it, Goran?
Oh yeah, I can do the test in the door.
There is still one more thing on the floor that you guys have not interacted with as well, just as a reminder.
Yeah, the orb.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'll go check out the orb.
It's not going anywhere, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Where is it?
So I'm gonna walk around here up
It
to the
is
door.
right here.
Yeah.
The orb. Okay.
Yep.
And it didn't go sliding with the floor.
No,
Okay.
the whole floor didn't pitch forward. It was only because you were where the weak floor is. It's not like a clean break. All of that has like collapsed down.
Yeah. Okay. I was just because it's pretty close. I was worried that if there's any slope, it'd start rolling.
Okay, so Gorwin, you said you want to try that door, and Grim is picking up the looking
orb.
at. Yeah. Okay. So
I'm looking at it. I'm not picking it up yet.
So it's covered in snow right now. You'd have to actually sort of like move it or kick it or something to or pick it up to clear it off, because it's got the same like rime of frost on it that everything else does.
Okay, I pick up a piece of wood to kind of do that.
Sure.
I don't want to touch it directly.
Okay. All right. So then let's go to here. So Gorwin, you're opening this door.
Yes, I'm gonna open the door and peek inside.
Okay. So
And maybe suggest that Falcor will spread out a little bit before I do that, so that we're not all putting weight on the same area.
Okay. You throw the door open. Opens towards you. What you can see in here, this room contains a fireplace and 2 empty bookshelves. Tacked to the walls and strewn around the floor are frost-covered blueprints. Face down on the floor, next to one of the blueprints, is a tiny man made of clay.
That's odd. Where's so I'll walk into the room. Where's the tiny man?
Tiny man is close to the desk to your right.
Okay. Nothing on the bookshelves, blueprints on the walls. I will investigate the tiny man.
Okay.
And by that I mean I'm going to walk over to it and peer down at it without touching it yet.
Yeah, Cola can get up in there.
Okay.
Yep. So you clamber on in there.
All right.
All right.
I want to see what's going on, but I don't want to.
All right. So, what you can find, Cola, you pick this. You like how do you interact with this? You just pick it up and look.
Me?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Gorwin.
So I'm not going to pick it up yet. I'm going to sort of crouch down next to it, and then if I just sort of try to figure out like it's just a clay dude.
Yeah.
How's it shaped? Is it like
it's a clay? So it's about maybe 6 inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a clay. It's fabricated to be a almost. It looks like a doll.
Mm-hmm.
It's articulated. The way it lies is not like it's not like just a statue or a like I don't know, like a figurine or something. This it lies as if like a man had fallen. It's a very weird replica of as if like this thing had fallen down, as if a man had collapsed, but made of clay and 6 inches tall.
That's pretty weird. Not painted or anything, just raw clay.
Yep, plain like kind of a grayish, brownish colored clay.
And on the level between like the Duriferos and like a child's thing, how kind of crafted, like the level of artistry that went into
There's
making the clay.
quite a bit in
Okay.
this. Yeah, like it
Yeah.
looks. It is a detailed replica of a clay version of someone wearing like a robe. With you know, like you can even see where the robe is coming away a bit, and there are like light trousers underneath as well too. See, the hair seems to even it's about mid-length, I guess, so maybe like around to where the neck would be. It seems to splay out in the way that like fallen hair would be.
So, can I tell if the fallen pose is at all similar to the pose of the corpse that we found?
Definitely different. Well,
Definitely
it's tough to tell. It's
tough to tell.
This looks like it's a male. Like from the back side, it looks like this figurine is designed to look like it's male. The robes, it's tough to tell on this too. But like, there's not the markings that Falcro had mentioned. You don't see any of those similar markings on here. And I guess more to the point, there's no amulet around this thing's neck.
Cool. So I'm gonna crouch by it, and I'm gonna say just out loud, kind of while looking around, I'm not trying to take anything, just investigating, and then I'm gonna reach out and try to pick up the clay doll.
Okay. So we'll cut now to Grim, who is grabbed a piece of broken wood, and you're sort of pushing this thing around. And I think with that effort, you're able to clear away most of the snow. Let me find the art handout here. Okay. You know, some of the handouts in this is they're either assuming that there is an awful lot more transparency between the players and the DM. Like some of these things, like, guys, why didn't you crop out certain names and shit like that in this? It's just unbelievable. So here's what this thing looks like once you have cleared it out.
Interesting.
Metal.
Looks like a piece of. Do I recognize any of the script that's around it?
The script around it. Let's see here. Do you have religion?
I don't have religion. No.
Do you have ancient history?
I do.
Go ahead and give us an ancient history roll.
Okay.
Nice.
Failing that. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So some of the markings that are on here are obviously Netherese script.
Ooh.
But only some of them.
I do have Netherese as a language too. So what does that tell me?
So there's references in here. I think with a roll that good. I'm trying to think what else you might need. Do you have spellcraft?
I don't.
Okay, so I think that there's meaningless words that are on here. There's not, without the necessary understanding of like how those things may play in with magic, and without understanding half of the script on here is not Netherese. It's some other text. It looks like religious, so like you may not be able to read like angelic or whatnot, but it's something similar to that.
Okay, so adding a religion check won't necessarily get us too much further.
Maybe.
Oh,
so I'll show that to Cola then and see what if he's able to.
Okay, so Cola, you go over and you see this thing as well, and
well, my first question is, do I recognize what that black rock is in the middle? That's not what I think it is. Is it? Because if it is, we're gonna have a problem.
it is a chunk of coal. It doesn't have the brilliant gleam that the black ice does.
Because we rid me of the, like, I have been, just for the record and for everyone watching, Cola has been cured of his earlier afflictions, but like, addicts be addicts, and
so it'd be like giving a recovering drug addict, hey, do you know what this kilo of drugs?
Exactly.
Okay, so yeah, I can do a religious check.
Yeah, please. And you have to move yourself over there because it hasn't been picked up yet.
I gotta touch this thing.
Well, you just got to get close to it. Grim has been very careful not to touch it yet. He's been pushing it around to clear it off, but you're maneuvering it with what he calls with a chunk of wood.
Oof, that was close.
That's close. So the markings, and part of this is maybe with Falcor recognizing it, these are invocations to Lathander, or to a Monitor.
Mm-hmm.
So the Morning Lords, some of what's on here, Cola, you can't read the Netherese script. That's a mystery to you. It's similar to what's on some of the equipment that your allies carry, those swords and some of the other Netherese gear that you guys have acquired. But the rest of it is mixed in with a prayer to the Morning Lord. And it's, the invocations are on bringing the warming dawn.
If we combine our knowledge, can we like kind of a weird double translation?
Here's what I'll do, because you're not. What I'll let you do now, Grim, is give us an intelligence check at -8. So treat your intelligence as if it's 8 lower, because you're not actually trained in spellcraft, but you may have picked up some stuff over the course of your training.
Yeah. Falcor's listening to them talk. He's like, "Didn't the Netherese break magic?"
This is new. This does not have like the types of prayers. Remember that when the Netherese fell, there are gods that died during that.
Yeah.
You guys have seen evidence of
Goddess of magic,
Mithril and whatnot. Yeah. A Monitor as well too. A Monitor was known as Lathander for hundreds, if not thousands, of years until his name reverted again. The prayers that are on here are modern invocations. Nicely done.
Yeah.
So Jesus.
Barely.
Remember your studies of the Mythalar and the things you've read about the Mythalar? Those massively powerful elven things, things that the people in the Netherese city were trying to master. One of the reasons they wanted to do that, not only you could work massively powerful spells so powerful you could change your environment, including the weather. What this seems to be is an effort to fuse divine magic with Netherese studies to bring a dawn.
I think this will be quite useful.
Probably quite deadly.
Very dangerous.
Look around.
Yeah, you're looking around and something seems to have been off here. Maybe it's the user error. But yeah, this definitely makes sense to you, Grim, and you think that maybe you could actually, with a roll Yeah. You actually may be able to start trying to figure out the flaw that's in here as well, too. The underlying principles, now that it's been mentioned to you, because of your obsession with Netherese objects, this is something that has been built with Netherese knowledge, Netherese study, and you can't help but think that some of those scraps of paper you were looking at, those were notes. And if you overheard Gorwin say, you know, just some blueprints in here, you immediately think, wait a minute. If you studied that stuff, maybe if there is something wrong with this, if it did kill someone, maybe you might be able to gain some insight into how to fix it.
All right, let's. Those were in the other room, right? The other down here.
Yes, where Gorwin is.
Southeast.
And you also now, the name of this, the Summer Star, is clear. It's written on the script that's on there. So, Gorwin, you're picking up that.
Picking up the clay doll.
So you touch it and you pick it up, and it falls limp like as you're picking it up by the waist. That's how I'm picturing you're grabbing it, as if it was a little living thing. You turn it over, and there's a like finely crafted face. You know the terracotta warriors found in the Qin Shi Huangdi's tomb? That's what this, like, there's not only
like
is
individual facial features, not
precisely
just
like this is a person. This is a replica of a person, not just a finely crafted thing. And if Grim, you walk in, I don't think you need to make a roll for this. What you can tell is Gorwin has in his hands a little clay homunculus, a little crafted assistant that sometimes masters of divine or arcane magic will put together to help them with their work.
D&D homunculi or like actual alchemy homunculus?
More D&D homunculi.
Okay, gotcha.
Homunculus.
Because it's gonna hate you if we.
Yeah. Or the what do you call it? The crazy, pig-hearted android from my absolute favorite Doctor Who serial from the Talons of Weng Chiang.
Oh, yeah.
It's it's a little racist in retrospect now, but it's a fucking great story because there's a killer thing called a Peking homunculus, little assassin android driven by the heart of a pig. Yeah. Anyway, so you look in here and like looking around at the blueprints, you have that movie scientist moment of revelation where someone's running around and like grabbing like, oh my god, and studying and like can't wait to see each of the blueprints. This is going to provide a huge resource for figuring out what is like how this thing was intended to be used. And I think there will be one last thing. The homunculus has fallen actually on a piece of paper. Okay.
If everyone wasn't moving, I would say I dropped the call.
Here is, sorry. What you find is a piece of paper. And I'll let Arlen read this here. Where is it here? The object. Where did it save? Here we go. Arlen?
All right, I'm gonna read it silently, and then I'm gonna tell people what's in it.
Okay.
I got it too, so I can read it.
Anyone who wants to, it's fine by me.
Yeah.
Okay, so then I'll pick up the paper and holding the homunculus in one hand and the paper in the other, I'll turn to Grim and say, It's pretty weird, right?
Yep, I don't know who these people are.
So, do one of you like to read it out loud, or would you like me to?
I'll read it out loud.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so Gorwin will raise his
in the
voice
film
enough.
version of our campaign, obviously this cuts into a voice that we do not recognize yet.
Macreadus, I've had enough of this damned relentless cold. I feel it creep into my bones, my head, my heart. I'm heading back to 10 towns for a decent meal and a warm bed. I fear this endless winter has numbed your mind, and any tinker worth their chains can see the summer star is a fool's errand. Maybe without me here to incessantly complain to, you'll finally snap out of your obsession. If you truly insist on dedicating your remaining days to this doomed project, might I suggest that 3 is better than 2? I considered telling you before, but you were particularly rude about the dinner I made last night. May the light of the Morning Lord protect you, Copper.
So with that bit of revelation, guys, we will bring our session to a close. So, much to consider in the next 2 weeks. Let's see, first off, how many points of Astonishing Fortune are left? 3 points, okay, and you guys have revealed some interesting secrets. So, let's do this. No, not my clock, my calculator. There we go. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you. Guys, you will each get 130 XP for today. 130. And that's before any class or unrelated to any class bonuses or anything like that. And for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for our latest session of the Legacy of the Crystal Shard campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding this session, this campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of the video, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. You can also reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, and you can reach me by email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. You may also find a link in the description of the video to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where we have channels dedicated to this campaign, every other campaign we run on the channel, and all of us are active over there as well, so you can find all of us chatting. You can also find over there channels dedicated to every other game we run on the channel, as well as a bunch of other great stuff like finding a group, like finding out about online conventions, and yeah, so a bunch of great people, a bunch of great conversations, and you are welcome to join us over there. Down below, there is also a link to the Heroes Save Villages campaign, which is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, the great organization active in over 130 countries that benefits over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children from around the world. From now until August 1st, 2021, for every $25 Canadian that you donate, you get one chance to win our grand prize, or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. The grand prize is a copy of the Beadle and Grimm's Legendary Edition Curse of Strahd box set. If you don't win that, keeping with the Ravenloft theme, there will be a copy of their new Shadowy Silver Edition of the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. And if you don't win those two things, there's still some other great stuff, including a chainmail dice bag made by our resident armor smith, Dave. There's also a couple of Dungeon Crawl Classics modules that have been donated by our buddy George. There is a copy of the upcoming, the Modifius's 2D20 version of Acton Cthulhu that I'll be donating because I accidentally bought an extra copy. So we'll have that kicked in. And if you don't win any of those, you still have a chance to win some great prizes from our Dungeon Musings Red Bubble Shop, including some t-shirts, some posters, and some other great stuff like mugs. And in spite of all that stuff, or in addition to all of that stuff, you also have a chance to vote on what games we'll be playing during our charity sessions. The most recent winner is Star Trek Adventures, which we'll be playing at the end of the month, and voting is still going on for what the content of that adventure will be. It's shaping up to be a pretty fascinating adventure so far. Yeah, we know Klingons will be making an appearance. We know there's a natural disaster, or at least that's what's leading the donations thus far. And we know that it will involve elements of the Enterprise and original series era. in addition to that, the best thing is that for all your donations, they go directly to the SOS Children's Villages International charity. None of it goes to the channel. None of it goes to any other middleman. It all just goes to help out the over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children who benefit from it. So get a chance to win some cool gaming stuff, have a say on what plays in the channel, have a say in what happens in the sessions that happen in those charity sessions, and to help out some kids. So great stuff all around. Last thing I will say, speaking of great stuff all around, is a huge thank you to all of the players who have joined me back in the Icewind Dale today. So Andrew, Brandon, John, Mo, and Arlen, thank you so much for joining me back in the Icewind Dale today, guys. Congratulations on uncovering another mystery in the Icewind Dale. So, with that, we'll bring our session to a close. So for those listening at home, if you are joining us during the current crisis, the one that occasioned this campaign kicking off in the first place, we do hope this finds you healthy, safe, and weathering the current crisis as well as can be expected. We hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes in the Icewind Dale keep uncovering. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.